I semi-roll knowing that the guy from my backside's coming to get me, and I get rid of the ball. If we don't have the play against what they're bringing, I do a little half roll and get rid of the football. Throw it outside, throw it at the feet of a receiver, throw it wherever.
As soon as
That's what they showed you.
As soon as you see that there's going to be someone unblocked, don't you just change the play?
Well, it's not that you're changing the play. You might have something you can run, but you just are cognizant of the fact that the guy's going to be unblocked on the backside because they've got 6 on the line of scrimmage. You've only got 5. Somebody's going to be unblocked. What they did was they brought the guy up front. He stepped toward the offensive line, and then he dropped back into coverage. At that point, it's too late for anybody to try to, I call it Mary or Molly. That's the Mary is the center coming back out. If the blitzer doesn't come, he comes and picks up the backside, or one of your guards comes out and goes and picks up the backside. Too late for that. At this point, it's over. I got to get rid of the football. That's what I have to do, period.
Everyone knew that the Vikings blitzed. They blitzed more than anyone else in the National Football League, but not typically resulting in sacks. Today, though, it did. They sacked Justin Fields 4 times, got Tyson Bagent once. But the story of this game, not only the Vikings defense, the Bears offense came in with back-to-back 400-yard games, took a 10-day break, and there was zero momentum.
Game. Yeah, the passing game was terrible.
Zero momentum.
Yeah, the running game looked like it could do a little damage for you, but the passing game was absolutely horrendous. It was. You targeted DJ Moore only one time in the first half. That's not enough. He's too big of a weapon. You saw it. He was the NFC player of the week last week. He's going to be the NFC player of nothing this week. Of nothing. When you don't target your biggest weapon, you don't have a chance. Mooney, it did open it up for Mooney a little bit, and Mooney got a couple of plays where he looked like he was a competent wide receiver, which is great. I just tell you, you can't come out slow. You're 0-3 at home now. What are you doing? You're in your territory. This is your place. And another defensive touchdown. That's the difference in the game, a defensive touchdown. That's it right there. It's driving. It's frustrating. I can't wait to watch some football where I can watch competent football teams play. I can't. You watch this stuff that we watched today, and somebody had to win. That was basically what was going on today. Somebody was going to come out a victor. Okay? And Minnesota made the least amount of mistakes. The least amount. I feel sorry for the Bears defense today. The Bears defense fought their asses off. They fought their asses off today. And what did it matter? It didn't matter at all. It doesn't make a difference. You give up 12 points, that's all they gave up. And you lose a football game because your offense decides they want to hand points over on the other side.
Bears defense held Minnesota to 46 yards rushing.
And both quarterbacks were equally bad. Equally bad. I mean, Bagent looked halfway decent at times, but you just can't flip the football out like that, like it's nothing.
The Bears lose Justin Fields to a hand-wrist injury. He did not return after going into the medical tent and then heading into the locker room. Tyson Bagent in his NFL debut, boy, it was a rough start for him. Although his first play from scrimmage was a completion. After that, it was a scoop and score, giving up points to the defense and then gaining some momentum. The best the offense looked, the passing game looked all day until it ended in the interception late in the fourth quarter. So, rough day. Justin Fields, we'll see how long he is going to be out. Tyson Bagent debut, the Shepherd University undrafted free agent rookie, takes over for the Bears as Nathan Peterman was the emergency quarterback today, not active. 312-332-3776. We take your phone calls. It is time for you to sound off. What was it about today's game that you were hoping for? Bears fans have not seen a home win at Soldier Field now in 385 days. They were trying to build a two-game win streak. Could not happen.
Didn't happen.
Would have been for the first time since week 16 and 17 of Fields' rookie season.
It's a long time ago.
10 straight home losses for the Bears, 11 straight losses to the NFC North. We haven't seen a win to a division foe since Thanksgiving of 2021.
And this game was gettable. That's the worst part about this game.
2-1-4 teams.
This game was very gettable. They did nothing. Your defense played well. Your defense played well enough to win. That's the problem. That's the biggest area of concern. Your defense came out and they showed up today, and your offense just, boy, they were awful. Just awful. Both quarterbacks were awful. The offensive line was awful. Whitehair, if he can't snap the ball.
He got benched.
Good.
Lucas Patrick came in the fourth.
It's about time.
And unfortunately, they lost Nate Davis as well. We'll continue on with the injury reports as well. We will head back to Soldier Field for the interviews with head coach Matt Eberflus. We'll find out also if Tyson Bagent is going to join Jason McKee inside the locker room. And of course, your phone calls, 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Dear football fans, at Toyota, we've assembled a hard-nosed championship team. Check out the RAV4's versatile ground game. Get behind the wheel of the Camry and see how this competitor gets its all to win. Or enjoy the Highlander, a big-bodied defender with plenty of room to carry your squad. Plus, all these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive, so you can tackle any terrain. Visit Toyota.com to learn more or check out your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Chicago fans, I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. We know injuries are part of the game, and if you've been in an accident, part of your life too. When the insurance companies are trying to score against you, we're there to intercept. Football fans, we are ready to fight for you. With over $100 million in recoveries for our injured clients, we know how to tackle the competition. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4-MILLION or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4-MILLION.
Work zone ahead. Slow down, obey signs, and proceed with caution to advance. If you're a pro at navigating your favorite game, you shouldn't have any trouble when it comes to work zones. Failure to obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether workers are present or not. And remember, in real life, you can't just hit the reset button. It's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
Here comes the boom, boom, boom.
Welcome to the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network. Brought to you by Great Clips is gonna be great by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, and by Miller Lite. And now, the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network.
Here are your hosts, Peggy Kaczynski and John Jurkovich.
Welcome back in. This is your opportunity to chime in as well with what you saw in the Bears game today, losing to the Minnesota Vikings 19-13 at Soldier Field. The Bears now drop to 1-5 and are still looking for their first home win in over a year. 312-332-3776. Yes, this is the Great Clips post-game show. Okay, Jurko, I'm getting a little frustrated because we see things and are screaming at the TV. And when I hear them say at the halftime interview on television, yes, they agree that they have to go to DJ Moore. They have to find DJ Moore. They have to force it to DJ Moore. Aren't there ways they knew he was going to be blanketed? Today, He was shadowed by Murphy.
Sure.
So are there ways they can get him open? Are there times when sometimes you have to keep the defense honest and go his way anyways, not at the risk of a turnover, but you need to try to keep the defense more honest? And why is it that they say after 2 quarters, we got to try to find a way to get the ball to DJ Moore?
No,
you're going to get blanketed now from here on out.
Right. You're going to get blanketed. If a team wants to take a guy away, they can take a guy away. In the second half, you saw that they found a way to get him the football no matter what, and they did. He got 4 receptions in the second half. Could he have gotten more? But they had put him in motion. They had started to do some different things with them. But it opens up opportunities for other people. And it did open up opportunities for Mooney. And it did open up opportunities for Cole Kmet. It's just they're not good enough offensively right now, at least against the Minnesota Vikings, which forces you to which forces you to make decisions fast. It forces you in a situation where you've got to go ahead and get rid of the football before you might be comfortable in getting rid of the football. And that's just the way they want to play. They're going to play that high pressure. But when you gamble sometimes like that, you gamble and lose. DJ Moore almost slipped a tackle on the right sideline. And if he slips that tackle, Katie bar the door, he's going a long way. So when you gamble that way and you play that aggressive defensively, sometimes that can go ahead and blow up in your face. But again, the team I feel sorry for is the Bears defense. Bears defense came out and played a game today, and it didn't make a difference because the offense didn't show up. Not only that, they decided to go ahead and turn the ball over and allow the other team to go all the way down and score a touchdown themselves. And that's your difference in your ball game. That's the difference.
Minnesota defense was giving up the 10th most points in the National Football League heading into this game. And yet the Bears had 6 points at halftime, 2 field goals. They should have been able to score more against this pass defense that was not very good. And yet they couldn't get anyone open. I'm very confused on what is going on. We saw a couple times DJ Moore was open and Justin Fields did not see him. And we saw Justin Fields kind of revert a little bit more to.
Well, I mean, the pressure was
run
there.
is his first or second option.
The pressure was there. So it's hard to scan the field when you're pressuring, you're moving left and right. When your eyes are gone from the field that's downfield and you're looking to where you can escape, it's hard to see what's happening down there. So they were going to pressure him. And then when they didn't pressure him, they rushed 3. They dropped 8 and said, okay, now you've got to be perfect. And he wasn't willing to pull the trigger to be perfect either. So, listen, neither quarterback was impressive. Neither quarterback was impressive with their play today. So, that's it. Somebody wants to tell me Bagent was better than Fields? Okay, fine. Neither was impressive. Neither played to the NFL standard, the minimum NFL standard at quarterback. Neither one of the guys was there. I feel zero excitement for Bagent being the starting quarterback next week, if that's what ends up happening. I got zero excitement for that happening. So
Vikings defense with 8 quarterback hits today, a scoop and score, another interception as well. The Bears defense did come up with a couple of sacks, but 4 quarterback hits. They played very well at times, and at other times, though, when they needed the offense to score, the offense could not help them out. Tough loss for the Bears for sure at Soldier Field. The first of back-to-back home games for the Bears. Not a lot of time, they have to have a short memory, as they say, because up next are the Raiders. If that's right? Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders next week.
Next week it's the Raiders, and the Raiders today are hosting New England.
They're up 3-0 right now. The Raiders are up.
Oh, it should be another barn burner then. Next week.
Jimmy Garoppolo playing quarterback. Mac Jones and Jimmy Garoppolo. Not exactly. Montana and Staubach going against each other today, is it? Nope. I don't think so.
The division games for the Bears, they open up against Green Bay. They take on Minnesota today. They got swept by Minnesota the last 2 seasons.
They go up against Green Bay, give up a defensive touchdown. They go up against Minnesota to give up a defensive touchdown. They're 0-3 when they give up defensive touchdowns. They're bad. They're 1-5. They're 0-3 at home. Say if you're a quality football team in the NFL, you win your games at home, you split on the road. Now, there's more road teams winning now than ever in the history of the NFL. That home field advantage is kind of dissipated in the NFL nowadays. So say you go 6-2 at home, but you got to be able to win your games at home. You've got your crowd behind you. They're cheering you on. They're making life difficult for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, without Justin Jefferson today, looked a little more ordinary than he usually does. He did.
Yeah.
He had one guy, Osborne, that he could rely upon out there. Addison caught a couple of balls for him, especially the one in the touchdown. By the way, remind me to get back to that touchdown pass.
Okay.
I got a bone to pick with whoever was out there at the time. I don't know if it was Brisker or Gordon. Whoever was out there on the perimeter, it could have been 29. Who's our guy, 29?
It was Brisker and Stevenson.
So Brisker on the inside,
yes.
Stevenson was on the outside. Remind me to get back to that one because I got some real what in the hell are we doing type like questions happening there. Because when you play a zone and there's nobody in the zone, what are you defending? If you're playing zone
right,
and there's nobody threatening your zone, what are you defending? So what I like to do is I like to accordion it. You squeeze it until you're threatened.
Yeah.
You squeeze it until you're threatened. So when he went inside, the receiver, Jordan Anderson, went inside, because nobody's threatening your zone, we had a guy man-on-man on Hockenstein going into the core, Hawkinson, going into the flat. Guy was man-to-man. If he turns up, now you got to go pay attention to that. But without him turning that up, you've got Addison right there to kind of faked in there. Stevenson should have been closer and been able to make a play on that. Instead, he was playing in the void, in nowhere land.
Right.
You were guarding nobody. Your area that had 0 wide receivers in was well defended instead of squeezing and coming over to help. That's a little bit of an accordion theory in zone, where if you're not being threatened and there's nothing threatening you in your area, you've got to be able to squeeze the level you're at. And then if something else threatens from south to north, then you got to expand back and get to your area to cover that. So that I saw that and I'm just like, what did you think you were doing a good job? Because you didn't. You weren't doing a good job. You're doing a bad job.
Let's head back to Soldier Field, where Jason McKee is standing by with the rookie Tyson Bagent, who made his NFL debut today. Jason.
Here with Bears quarterback Tyson Bagent. Tyson obviously made your debut today due to injury. Talk about the poise. You've exhibited poise throughout the preseason, and you showed poise when you were in there. Talk about, where does that poise come from?
I just think it comes from, me being lucky enough to have played a lot of college football, get a lot of reps in essence, and then just, taking all the coaching and everything that I'm receiving since I've been in the Bears organization, just trying to put my best, out there on the field, put out a good product for everybody.
We know Minnesota's defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, loves to dial up pressure. Did they catch you guys off guard with anything today?
No, I thought the coaches put together, a really good plan for the pressure that, we knew we'd be seeing. And I think it just comes down to execution there at the end of the game for us. But I thought we had a good game plan. I thought we executed well. Just wish we could have, turned the ball over a little bit less.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Talk about the interception. What happened on the interception?
That is, really on me, one-on-one matchup with DJ, underthrew it a little bit. So just got to give him a chance going forward.
Moving forward, if you are to take command of this offense, what has made you comfortable within this offense?
I think the coach is doing a good job, everybody having each other's back. And then me just, working really hard, trying not to let anybody down.
All right. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Peggy and Jurko in the booth.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Jason McKee's interview with quarterback Tyson Bagent is brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. See Grand Funk Railroad with Foghat, November 2nd at Hard Rock Live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. When we come back, we will hear from the head coach, Matt Eberflus, and we'll also open up the phone lines, 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Don't miss out on the best gaming in Chicagoland. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, where we're sure to have the action you crave. The choice is yours with a world-class selection of over 1,700 slots and 80 table games. Enjoy some of your favorite games like blackjack, roulette, craps, and baccarat. A roll of the dice or a spin of the reels, and you could be a winner. Live life at max volume at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Just off Exit 6, I-80-94. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
Big news from Bill Jacobs Auto Group. Get ready to hit the road with total peace of mind. Every car purchased or leased from any Bill Jacobs dealerships now comes with our Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection. New car, you're covered with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Used car, no worries. You get a 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit us today and drive away with the confidence of Total Mile Protection. Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, but the experience brings you back.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays, bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish, going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Peoria, Illinois, that wildly underrated peach of a place downstate, wants you to take its jobs. Okay, so they're careers, really. High-paying ones at world-class companies. And there are hundreds of them just waiting for someone with as much talent as you to say, bleep it, I'm moving to Peoria. But that overabundance of opportunity isn't the only thing Peoria has going for it. To explore all the perks and to land your dream career, head to choosegreaterpeoria.org.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi, Longo and Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is Morisi.
Game day tailgate 4 hours before kickoff. ESPN Chicago.
Welcome back to the Great Clips post-game show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network. We head back to Soldier Field, where Jeff and Tom are standing by with head coach Matt Eberflus.
All right, thanks, Peggy. Coach, give us your thoughts. This is a tough loss indeed. There's going to be a ton of questions, obviously, about Justin and how he is.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank the fans, for really doing a great job of getting loud on third down. We were on defense, and that really helped us today. We didn't get enough takeaways on defense, but certainly played better. But certainly want to thank the fans for that, and that certainly helped out. Really, the injury update on Justin is, obviously injured his right hand, his right thumb, and we evaluated it and we X-rayed it, and that X-ray is negative right now. So tomorrow we're going to have to take it, MRI and evaluate it again. We'll know more information at that time. That's where that is. That's all the information that I have on it. Nate Davis, obviously we left with the ankle, and again, same thing with him. We'll know more tomorrow in terms of the severity of that. And then Eddie's, foot, kind of was during the game was a little bit bothersome to him. We made a cut, and he was available to come back, but we thought it was best for to have Hickson there and have Eddie not injure it more than what it was. So that's where we are with the injury updates. But overall with the game, obviously when you are in a situation like that, I really, was pleased with the players. At the end, they kept fighting. We gave ourselves a chance to win the game at the end. Having some really good defensive stops at the very end there. And then, Tyson came in there and again, a little bit rough at first, but I thought he really did a nice job of settling in, put a nice drive together. And then at the very end, we just got to do a good job of protection and also do a good job of finishing the game right there at the very end.
Hey, Matt, a question for Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator. Are you getting to learn your talent a little bit better? Because it seems like the last 3 or 4 games, the defensive line's a lot more aggressive. They're making plays behind the line of scrimmage. And I just don't know, are you seeing these guys differently than you did the first game you were calling defenses?
Yeah, I saw, when I called the game in Tampa Bay, I saw it. I've been, obviously I look at those guys every inch of the day, so it's to me, those guys really did a good job in that first game. Now I think we gave up maybe 20 points in that game. I'm not sure, but it was a good defensive outing. It was solid. We gave ourselves a chance to win the game at the end. So starting with that, and then really just building upon this, getting the guys back that we had, with the secondary coming back, we were able to do some more things, which I thought was good, and it gave us some more weapons there in terms of what we could call and how we could call it.
If Bagent is the quarterback going forward for at least a game or two, does that mean you'll have to pick up the tempo in practice to give him a more realistic look at the speed of the game? Or can you feed them enough information at the tempo that you do practice at?
Yeah, we practice really fast. I mean, our practices aren't super long, but man, they're intense. We really bring it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I believe that his experience that he's gotten already, but certainly when he's if he is indeed in that role, we'll see where that goes. Obviously this week, but we're certainly going to have to give him some different looks and making sure that he's all prepared. And he's done a really good job of preparing. During the week. We've had some developmental periods where he's getting all the reps, that Justin gets during the practice as well. So to prepare him, and obviously if he gets in that leadership role, the main role, he'll obviously get all the reps.
With the personnel on the offensive line, with the injury to Nate Davis, with Braxton Jones possibly coming back, with the situation you have at center, is there going to have to be decisions made between you and Chris Morgan in terms of how you're going to line up the personnel?
Yeah, no doubt. That's going to be, and that's been ongoing for us, recently, so we're going to have to look at it and see what's the best combination for us and what makes us the strongest.
Matt, we talked about before the game how your offense was going to handle the pressure package of Brian Flores, was going to tell a lot about this game. What did you think of that and how the team responded to it, and Justin in particular?
Yeah, I think it was good in spots, but I thought it needed to be better. I thought, we give up the 5 sacks, but I do think that, overall we operated and it gave ourselves a chance to win at the end of the game. But again, it's all about getting the W. We didn't get that done today.
All right, Matt, we'll talk to you later this week, and good luck in your prepreparation for the Vegas.
All right, thank you.
That's Matt Eberflus, Peggy, and Jurko. Back to you guys.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Just to reiterate, if you are just joining us, head coach Matt Eberflus just told Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer that x-rays on quarterback Justin Fields' right thumb are negative. X-rays on his right thumb are negative, so they will be taking it day to day to see how that injury progresses. This is the post-game show. We take your phone calls at 312-332-3776. Jurko, let's go out to the phone lines. Let's start with John on the north side. Hello, John. Welcome in.
Thanks. I mean, how does a quarterback get affected when every single shotgun snap is to somewhere different? I mean, the center play on the shotgun snaps was horrible.
Yeah,
today.
It's brutal. Brutal to the point even I said it's time to get this guy out of here. And soon thereafter, he ends up getting out of there. If you can't snap the ball, you can't play center. That's just the way it is. If you can't do a shotgun snap, you can't do it. Okay? You can't play.
The quarterback has to take his eye off everything and be jumping for the ball all day. How do you expect him to get the ball out early or anything? It's ridiculous that a fundamental like that can't be handled.
Well, I have a feeling it's been handled because you won't see Whitehair at center ever again.
Patrick wasn't any better.
Well, I think Whitehair, it's absolutely noticeable. And with Patrick, it was a little bit, a couple of low ones at times. Yes.
It's like they both have the yips.
It
may seem like it, yeah.
It seems like it, but Jurko's talked about this many times in the past. Cody Whitehair has a different way of snapping the football,
and it's bad.
And explain it again for those of our listeners who have not heard this before.
He holds the football by the edge and snaps it that way on a shotgun snap. He just holds it, by the edge. The football goes up like that.
Yep, hand over the edge,
and he flips
like
it back
like a claw
Yep.
over it.
Yep,
and just flips it.
It has resulted in an inconsistent shotgun snap. It's nothing new. It's been there forever. And I think today they finally got tired of it and said, the hell with it.
You could tell by the look on Cody Whitehair's face when he got benched and they brought in Lucas Patrick, who had been out in concussion protocol, but was active today.
I think we've come to the point to thank Cody Whitehair for his wonderful career here with the city of Chicago. And thank you very kindly. Enjoy your retirement.
Time to get Dan Feeney and Doug Kramer.
Unfortunately, I think that's the same thing for Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson also left today's game injured again as well.
Yeah, that foot will never be the same again. And at the end of the year, you thank him for all his wonderful work he had in Chicago and a lot of the interceptions and some of the stuff he did early in his career. I think he was a Pro Bowler early in his career. And you thank him and you send him on his merry way also. That's just the way it is. In the NFL, 1-5 football team, the truth is that you're going to be making decisions on some players. And some players are old and long in the tooth. And they got to go. And other guys, every time you're out there, you take a misstep, all of a sudden you're a problem for not being healthy. At some point, you got to say goodbye to that guy, too. That's just the way this works. When you stink, it's constant analysis on who stays and who goes.
The defensive secondary was intact today to start the game with Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker as the starting safeties, and Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, and Jalen Johnson as your starting cornerbacks. But it wasn't too long before Eddie Jackson did leave the game injured with that foot
Defense
again.
played well enough for this team to be victorious. Unfortunately, the offense has to take the field.
Offensive lineman Nate Davis also left today injured as well. And as we just said, Justin Fields' injuries on his right thumb were negative. Let's continue with the phone calls at 312-332-3776. We'll take Brandon in Fort Campbell. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, guys. I think the defense is starting to dial in. I think we're seeing constant improvement with the defense last 2 weeks. But Carm and I mean, Jurko, I know your opinion on this, and you want to see 17 weeks, but I've seen 3 years of this dude being so inconsistent. He threw the ball up in the sky, like in the red zone. Like, the guy is just – I'm talking about Justin, naturally.
Yeah, he got hit.
It's not right. Like, he holds the ball forever, and it's just – he's 3 years. He doesn't look it. It's so inconsistent, guys. It's time to start looking somewhere else. I know you want 17 weeks, but I think I've seen enough, man.
Well, I don't know what injury's going to do, so we'll see what ends up happening this week, whether he's going to be able to play or not because of the right wrist.
There seemed to be a delay in the processing when he is obviously stepping up as one of the options to run the ball because of how thin they were at running back today. And I want to get back to running back in a second here. He almost goes to it so quickly that he's not seeing his receivers a couple of times when they were open. Now, yes, were they blanketing DJ Moore? Yes, they were. But it just seems like he's gone back to what he was doing last year and going to the run.
For me, the RPO is you fake the handoff and the ball's thrown. That's the RPO to me. The RPO isn't a quarterback also then has a run option.
Yeah.
I'm faking the run, reading what's happening. Either I'm handing off or I'm firing the football.
It's an RPRO
right,
for him.
Yeah. And, then it ends up turning out to be his own run. Now, listen, I like any positive yardage. Anytime you can turn a negative play into a positive play, I like that. I'm not against that. I prefer to see positive stuff. And a lot of times, Justin takes a play that's garbage and he turns it into something positive. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have 2nd and 8 than 2nd and 12.
Justin Fields did have 46 yards rushing today. Deontay Foreman was your leading rusher with 65 yards on 15 carries. I do, when we come back, want to ask you, though, about they just signed Darrington Evans, who was with the team last year, and we saw him first before we saw Foreman. So let's get into that when we come back. Let's continue on the phone lines, 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Football fans, put someone on your team that's ready to fight for you. I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. Our team combines technology and expertise to deliver a first-class client experience and get you the wins that you deserve. We're here to help fans everywhere with their injury-related needs. Winning consistently isn't easy. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4MILLION or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4MILLION. From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Dear football fans, at Toyota, we've assembled a hard-nosed championship team. Check out the RAV4's versatile ground game. Get behind the wheel of the Camry and see how this competitor gets its all to win. Or enjoy the Highlander, a big-bodied defender with plenty of room to carry your squad. Plus, all these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive, so you can tackle any terrain. Visit Toyota.com to learn more or check out your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Money saved through energy efficiency can directly benefit a business's bottom line. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for their facilities. Because at ComEd, we're powering your business's future. Learn more at comed.com/poweringbiz. ComEd, powering lives. Savings figure is hypothetical only. Actual savings will vary based on the measures implemented and on customers' usage and rate.
Work zone ahead. Slow down, obey signs, and proceed with caution to advance. If you're a pro at navigating your favorite game, you shouldn't have any trouble when it comes to work zones. Failure to obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether workers are present or not. And remember, in real life, you can't just hit the reset button. It's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
You're one of the lucky ones. You were born a Bears fan. And now you're even luckier because with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank Visa debit card, you can get special discounts on certain Bears merch and concessions. Show you're a Bears fan from the gear you wear to the card you carry. PNC Bank. Passion pays. For details on discounts and other offers, visit pnc.com/bearscard. Visa is a registered trademark of Visa International Service Association and used under license. Passion Pays is a registered mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. Copyright 2023 PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
Hey Bears fans, it's Sylvie. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open on the corner of Lawrence and Harlem in Harwood Heights. Stop in, shop around, and when you spend $29.99 or more, you'll get a $100 Bears gear gift card. Steinhoffel's has the largest selection of furniture to fit every style and budget, plus all the best mattress brands. To find out more and shop online, visit steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Excellence. It means going the extra mile. You know that Volvo cars speak to excellence. And at Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, going the extra mile starts and ends with their culture of care and thoughtfulness. Guys, it's Carmen, and I've seen firsthand how Orloff Volvo goes the extra mile every day for everyone. And the Orloff name attached to the Volvo name is perfect, and they're known for safety and reliability. Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, just off the Kennedy at Armitage in Chicago. Volvo for life.
Hey football fans, don't get sacked by unexpected vehicle repairs. Amco Transmissions has easy pay plans for most credit needs. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Peggy and Jurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
I don't know why you're in such a good mood singing.
Listen, the game is what the game is. I got to talk about what I saw. That's all I can do. I mean, it's unsettling. It's upsetting. And then hopefully everybody can put I watched some college football on Saturday because I was urged to by people that told me there was a tremendous quarterback playing in South Bend the other day.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah. Let me tell you, like I tell everybody, you got to bring the quarterback in and develop him in the NFL. This is the way it works now. You got to develop him. Tua came into the league, struggled early, got developed. Jalen Hurts came to the league, wasn't what he is now, developed in the NFL, is a much better player than he was in his first year in the NFL. This is what happens. You got to take the quarterbacks out of college because they dumb down the offenses down in college. You got to bring them in here, and you got to get them up to speed in what's happening in the NFL. I watched the quarterback over there, and I don't judge on one game. It's not what I do. Matter of fact, I like to throw out their best game, and I throw out their worst game, and I kind of get a judge of exactly what they are. He struggled in that game. It was a hostile environment. It's the first time they probably really got pressed this year. It's unfair to go ahead and just simply say the kid can't play.
Right.
It's unfair. You can't do that. Throw it out. He's got some tough games coming up against Oregon. He's got a tough game against Washington, another one against Utah. I'll judge him then, okay? So I watch and consume a lot of football. I don't let the crap that I see from noon to 3 at Soldier Field affect my mood as a football fan and sully my enthusiasm for the greatest game in sport. Okay? The greatest game in sport. Not soccer, even though some would think that, but the game of football. I love it, and it's unfortunate the stuff we've got to watch is simply crap on most Sundays.
Not only can you tune in on the Chicago Bears radio network, but also on the ESPN Chicago app or on twitch.tv/ESPN 1000 Chicago, because the Bears post-game show brought to you by Great Clips. Their online check-in app saves you time on haircuts. With just a few taps, you can get in and out with a fresh haircut. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Also, join the greatest salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures. 312-332-3776. Out to the phone lines we go to continue with your comments and your calls after the Bears lost today. Let's go out to Reggie in Richmond. Hello, Reggie.
Hello.
Hey, Reggie.
How you all doing? That white hair, they need to take him out of there and keep him out of there at the center spot.
I'm with you, brother.
Every snap he throws back there, I believe it throws off the whole time of the whole offense.
It's a gamble. Every time he snaps, it's a gamble whether it's going to get to the quarterback or not.
Yeah, and the offensive line, they went back to their old self.
Well, I don't know if they did that. Yeah, some of the concepts were a little bit puzzling to me as far as how they were picking some stuff up. Now, I've seen running backs, after you slide protection one way or the other, running backs go the opposite way, cut the defensive end, get the hands down, and a quick pass comes out the backside on a blitz. I've seen a running back do that against the defensive lineman. But most of the time, big on bigs is the philosophy, because the big guys can handle the big guys. So I saw 97 running loose. It looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron Donald does not play for the Minnesota Vikings, right?
No.
He does not play for them, right?
No.
Jalen Carter's hurt this week. He's not playing, right?
Right.
Why is it that both of them seem to be on the Minnesota Vikings defensive line today in the form of number 97? Because he just seemed to me he was free and clear all day. Like, hey, we're not going to block him, and maybe he'll be so surprised he'll just trip over his own feet. Puzzled, a little bit puzzled. I didn't understand it. Either way, it led to a lot of dysfunction with the Bears offense.
Minnesota, again, has given up the 10th most points in the NFL heading into this game. They have very poor pass defense, and the Bears struggled in the first half to get into the end zone and to get the ball deep to their wide receivers. We wondered if the momentum would carry over back-to-back 400-yard games for the passing offense, and yet they struggled after their 10-day break. There's going to be a lot of questions, Jurko, about Justin Fields. Before he left injured, his passer rating was 36.7. Many wondered, would we see, or is he the guy that we saw the last two games against Washington and Denver when his passer ratings were 125 and 132 respectively? Or was he more like the first three games of the season when he had a 61 passer rating and a 58.7 passer rating? Today he left injured with a 36.7.
Well, unfortunately, he was not the quarterback of the last 2 weeks. He was not. He struggled with the pressure. It was there. It was immediate. His eyes went from being downfield to trying to find a way to survive, really. That's what they ended up. And I think I'm saying it that way because there was pressure coming from a lot of different places.
Well, and
when he had time, it seemed like he had the own clock in his head saying, okay, at some point this is going to collapse. And then he started to do other things. They got down to the red zone. They kicked 2 field goals. They needed to score touchdowns. That's how it works. 7 points. You got to score 7 points in this league. 3 points are okay. They're nice. If you're up 14, you go up 17. That's 2 scores, more than 2 scores. So you got to score touchdowns. How did he play? He did not play well today. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see the way he played today. He didn't play well. He didn't play well at all. And he certainly didn't play well enough to win a game.
This was the part of the schedule coming off of 2 weaker teams like Denver and Washington. Minnesota may be better than their 1-4 record coming in.
But without Justin Jefferson, a chance for a victory.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yet, he is going to continue to face tougher defenses as the schedule goes on.
Oh, yes.
So these were the games he needed to be able to, he was going to be tested, especially today with the blitzing from Brian Flores' defense. So not a lot of answers came today when it came to Justin Fields and his development.
Oh, yeah, well, that's 100% correct. Not a lot of answers. Matter of fact, maybe a couple of more questions. And whenever you don't do it in this league, then the questions pop back up, and then the other questions start to pop back up. That's just it. That's why I always look for replication of performance. Yeah, I saw 2 good performances. Now you got to replicate it. And it's got to be done over and over. Patrick Mahomes is playing bad football right now.
Right.
He's not playing the type of football that he's played in the past, but they're good enough to where Patrick Mahomes can play poorly and they still find a way to win a game.
Right.
Okay, this team can't do it. This team's got to play a perfect football game for them to be able to win games. That's why you're hoping they were going to be able to repeat it. You're hoping that with all the things that Minnesota was trying to overcome on the road, you were going to be able to get yourself another victory. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And because of that, now it's nothing but questions as you move forward. At least the defense showed up and played some football today. At least the defensive line looked like they were capable of playing some defense this week. That's a good thing. That's the good sign. But when all the best things that are happening around the football, it's no good.
Let's go out to Elgin where T.O. is up next. Hi, T.O.
Hello, how you guys doing? I love the show. My thing is, I don't understand why they have Justin Fields running the ball. I mean, he's a quarterback. The quarterback ain't supposed to run; they're supposed to pass. And you know, this is the NFL. You got grown men playing football, and every hit it takes a toll on your body. Hopefully, the Bears will regroup, but I got to give it to the rookie. He tried to do his thing, you know. So
well, he tried to do it, but he didn't do it. So when you try to do it and fail, that's what you did. You failed. Tyler Bagent doesn't get to be graded on a different scale than Justin Fields gets graded. They're graded on the same scale. Okay? Fields failed, Bagent failed. That's it. That's what it's on. Pass fail in the NFL. Not a C-, not a C+. You failed. And hopefully next week, whoever ends up as the starter, whoever's the healthiest quarterback that can find a way to play, can come out and muster up some sort of effort against the team that they're going to play.
We will find out if Tyson Bagent continues to start next week against Vegas as they come to Soldier Field. The first of back-to-back home games for the Bears before the end of the season, week 17 and 18, I believe. So Tyson Bagent likely to see more snaps in practice. X-rays negative on Justin Fields' right thumb, according to head coach Matt Eberflus. We will continue with your phone calls. We'll also hear from Courtney Cronin coming up at the top of the hour. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Bears Radio Network.
Welcome to the new era of the Chicago Bears on your new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WSHE, HD2, Chicago.
Want to live life at max volume? Then look no further than Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. With over 1,700 slots, 80 table games, live entertainment, and 5 restaurants which span a wide range of culinary genres, we are sure to have something for everyone. Whether you want to indulge in a savory dish at Council Oak Steaks and Seafood, or take in dinner and live music at the world-renowned Hard Rock Cafe, amplify your entertainment experience at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana, just off Exit 6, I-8094. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
You've got the talent, the moxie, and the grit, but you're still buried on the bench, waiting for a chance to prove it. If that sounds familiar, it may be time to take your talents to Peoria, Illinois. They're looking to fill hundreds of high-paying positions in all industries, and there's plenty of room on the roster for candidates like you. Sound good? Check out choosegreaterpeoria.org to learn more. Do it now. Visit choosegreaterpeoria.org.
Welcome to another wonderful Bears football night, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to raise up your flags, put your jerseys on, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, Bears fans save big on game days. Save 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. Yes, that's another touchdown to you all. Download the Fuel Rewards app to join and game on.
Must be a Fuel Rewards member. Offer ends January 7, 2024. Limit 20 gallons. Other restrictions apply.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays. Bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish. Going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Rest easy knowing your savings are secure and earning you more with a Wintrust MaxSafe account. With MaxSafe, you get up to 15 times the standard FDIC personal protection. That's right, 15 times the protection with the ability to secure up to $3.75 million per account holder. Now that's banking as it should be. Call 833-MaxSafe to talk with a local Wintrust banker today. That's 833-MaxSafe. Peace of mind is just a phone call away. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks. Member FDIC. See FDIC.gov for deposit insurance coverage rules.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
Are you ready for a winning drive, Chicago? It's time to tackle your car search with Bill Jacobs Auto Group, the true champions of automotive excellence. Score big with a third-generation family-run business committed to our community and fair upfront pricing. Touchdown with our unparalleled service experience and an extensive selection of new and used vehicles. Don't fumble on your car buying journey. Visit Bill Jacobs Auto Group today and experience the Bill Jacobs way, the MVP of car dealerships. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in and the experience brings you back.
Former Bear Lance Briggs is live in studio with Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 9:30 on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Hear more Jurko.
Weekdays noon to 2.
ESPN Chicago.
$385 days and counting as the Bears look for their first home win in over a year at Soldier Field. They'll get an opportunity next week as they host the Las Vegas Raiders. Right now, Las Vegas leads New England 10-0 in the first half. Across the NFC North, where the Bears are also winless, they have now lost 11 straight to their division foes. With the Vikings win today, the Lions are leading Tampa Bay, and the Packers had a bye. That's a look around the rest of the division and the Bears' future opponents. Nothing's easy on the schedule as much as they came in with one of the easier schedules.
Right. When you're one of the, unfortunately right now, when you're one of the bad teams in the league, every week is going to be a dogfight. Every week's going to be a dogfight. And the proof is in the pudding. What you put out there and what your results are that's what decides whether you're a good team or a bad team. Doesn't matter if you're a good, you're a solid individual. Doesn't matter if you're DJ Moore. DJ Moore catches yards, NFC Player of the Week. He's on a 1-5 football team. You're a loser. I played on a 2-14 football team. You know what everybody thought of us? We're losers. That's what we were. Until you do what? Until you win games and you become a winner. That's it. And then you become a champion, and that's a little bit different. That's some different level.
The Panthers remain winless, losing to the Dolphins today, 42-21.
They were up 14-0 at one point. It looked like, whoa, in Miami, these guys were ready to play. And then 42 unanswered. 42 unanswered. Tyreek Hill, a little bit of an injury, too.
Yeah, I saw that. And the Giants, another 1-4 team. They play the Bills tonight on Sunday Night Football. Looking to see if there's anyone else. And the Cardinals right now, another 1-4 team, are tied with the Rams in the first half, 3-3. So
3-3.
Yeah, it's not.
Paco Nakau had a touchdown pass that he dropped in the end zone.
Okay.
I think that's his name. Out of Utah, I believe. Utah State, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah, wide receiver for the Rams.
We have Courtney Cronin coming. Is she up now? Yep, let's go to Courtney Cronin, our Bears insider from ESPN's NFL Nation as well. Boy, Courtney, I don't know where to start. I guess we do need to start with Justin Fields. Before he left the game with the injury, and as we have been telling people, as Matt Eberflus said, x-rays were negative on his right thumb. He didn't look good. He was back to Justin Fields from weeks 1 and 2, not Justin Fields from the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, 6 of 10 for 58 yards. That's, Tyson Bagent had a better stat line and played, I want to say, less snaps probably by the time this whole thing was said and done. His longest pass, it paled in comparison to what we saw last week from Justin Fields with DJ Moore and with everything else. And it's an unfortunate circumstance now they're going to have to work through, whether this hand injury is going to be a long-term one, if it's something that they can mitigate for the next couple of weeks. But, when he exits the game and he goes to the medical tent and then immediately goes to the locker room, he's got a towel draped over his hand. That's never really a great sign, because it's obviously trying to, cover up whatever it is right there so that the cameras won't be able to catch that. But, for him to be immediately ruled out after, getting back to the locker room, Matt Eberflus said that he tried to go back in. He wanted to go back in, but he couldn't grip the ball. So with that being your throwing hand, that's not clearly something that is feasible. So for him at this point to, be eyeing potentially a couple games, who knows? I mean, they've done the X-ray. The X-ray is negative, but that doesn't mean that there isn't structural damage to it in terms of ligaments, which is what they're hoping to get from the MRI tomorrow. And then hopefully tomorrow at some point we'll know a little bit more, or we'll have a little bit more clarity on just how long he might have to miss.
Any word on Nate Davis and Eddie Jackson?
Yeah, so apparently Eddie, I guess he could have come back in if they needed him, is what I gathered from Flus after the game. But that foot injury, he came out, he was rotating every other series with Elijah Hicks. And clearly, a situation where he's, still coming back from that foot injury. We saw him do a pregame workout with a trainer. And then it was that 3rd and 19 play where he comes out, and then they announce shortly after that he has a foot injury. So something to keep an eye on. That's the same foot, I would imagine, because, he's had the injury there with the Liz Frank. He said that this last injury he got in Tampa is not the same feeling. Like it wasn't, he didn't immediately go down and say, man, I just fractured my Liz Frank again. But, for another foot injury to pop up today, not a great sign for somebody who, has just struggled to see the field this year. And then when it comes to Nate Davis, he was walking pretty gingerly off the field earlier, and I cannot remember if it was ankle or foot or how exactly they labeled it. But, him being ruled out is one to watch as well. But it's the kind of same line from Matt Eberflus there, that they did the X-ray here at Soldier Field and nothing came up on it right away. So they're going to be waiting on further evaluation from him too.
This offense is feast or famine. 400 yards in back-to-back games, and then they come up against a defense that has given up the 10th most points, a very weak defensive secondary. It's not like DJ Moore was being blanketed by an all-world defensive back in Murphy. But why is the offense stalling so much like this? Why is there no in-between?
I think a lot of it had to do with the pressure that they faced today. I don't think that they had the right protections in there. And you can even hear Matt Eberflus and Tyson Bagent talk about it post-game, that, some of the looks were not unscouted looks, but looks that just were not blocked properly up front. And that, when you have pressure coming at you from all different levels, and even on Justin Fields' interception, so like they get the ball back after Kirk Cousins, the backwards pass, it's a fumble, I think, and then, or whichever one it was, when he threw the interception, and then the Bears get the ball back. On that play from Fields, when he threw the interception, he had a 6-man pressure coming at him, and that came up the right side of the line after Nate Davis went out of the game. So that's Shatari Carter in there. I just think that this was probably the most complex pressure scheme that they will have faced this year. There's nobody that's more aggressive at blitzing than Brian Flores. So maybe that's a little bit of a silver lining going forward, that you probably won't face a defense that brings pressure in this way. But I think that eliminated everything that they were trying to do up front. There was a point that they had negative net passing yards up until their 4th drive. They had like that Darnell Mooney play where he connected with Fields for a 39-yard reception. Like before that, they were in the negative, in the red, in terms of passing yards. And that's just not great. I mean, they started out behind the 8 ball. They were in 2nd and long a couple times on that first drive. The 3rd down situation early on wasn't great. And it just felt like since they couldn't ever play from behind the chains, they were trying to get out of it. And some of the play calls didn't make sense. I mean, there was that 3rd and 7 run that was a little bizarre. And then, in the first half, when they get the ball back out of the 2-minute warning, after, they got the ball back on that possession, it's a 2-minute warning. Then they go for a 3rd and 2 pass out of the shotgun. And it was a deep ball that got intercepted. Like just some weird situations today, I think, in terms of play calling and in terms of execution of what they were trying to do and what they couldn't do.
More issues for the offensive line, not just with Nate Davis leaving injured. Cody Whitehair looked like he got benched for Lucas Patrick. The wheel just keeps turning with this offensive line.
Yeah, and apparently that had nothing to do, according to Matt Eberflus, nothing to do with the bad snaps, which, believe what you want out of that. I'm sure that factored in. His answer when I asked him about the change was that when they had Bagent in there, they wanted to give him somebody who has more experience center. Well, Cody Whitehair was supposed to be your starting center this year, and then a rash of injuries caused him to move around. So I think that's, this was probably the worst game that Cody Whitehair has played. You guys correct me, but feels probably like in a very long time, at least the 2 seasons that I've covered the Bears. This is the worst game that I've seen from him. You saw snaps going, a lot of different directions. And Tyson Bagent said, he's taking snaps from both of them. And when he isn't, it's hard. Like when you're a backup quarterback going into the game, usually the starting center is not somebody that you're working with all that often. During the week, you can take some snaps from them during pregame to make sure that you're up to speed and ready to go if you do have to get in. But that's not who he's working with most frequently. So the miscommunication on a few things, and I know, there were some moments too. I'm curious when you break down Tyson Bagent's cadence, a couple times where it looked like he was, having to jump a little bit. Maybe that was just the yips. Maybe that was just him getting in a rhythm. Who knows? But it just felt like there was, things were going a little fast in there when they were switching from quarterbacks. And, certainly the center position has been one we've had our eye on for a while now that, I wonder, is it better to have a true center on the roster than, even what Matt Eberflus said when I asked him about this on Friday, and it was in relation to Doug Kramer, who is a pure center, a true center, somebody that's the only position he plays here, instead of having guards go in there. And I think that there is something to that. Now, maybe this is not like the highest bar that you're putting in there, but who knows how they end up going forward with this, because you want your core. If Tyson Bagent has to be in there for a while, you want him to be comfortable. You want the operation to be clean, and you're going to have to do that come hell or high water with whatever personnel, age, ego, finances, all of that stuff be damned. You've got to put your best center in there, because that is the operation has become such an issue, especially this game. And I felt like, it really got a negative spotlight on it that led to the change at center, regardless of what they were saying.
No surprise that we saw Velus Jones Jr. getting involved more on offense with a couple of gadget plays out of the backfield. A little bit surprised that instead of all the touchbacks, he was taking everything back, and it almost cost them early on that first kickoff return. But I wanted to ask you more about Darrington Evans, who was just re-signed off of Miami's practice squad this week, and yet he saw the first snaps of the game instead of Deontay Foreman. What was that about?
Yeah, I didn't really get a clear answer on that, but certainly you look at that and you're like, this guy just got here.
Right?
What does he know that we don't know? And, he was in this offense last year. He was a practice squad guy. He's been around, and it could have been them trying to give Minnesota more of an unscouted look, that they maybe weren't expecting this guy because he was on somebody else's practice squad as of Monday morning last week when they begin game prep for the Chicago Bears. So it's a curious point. And I talked to Deontay Foreman after the game. He said he wasn't too thrilled with the way he played today. He didn't view it as some sort of breakthrough game for himself. I thought he ran the ball pretty well on, the first couple of drives, and hard fought yards in there, but he felt like he left a lot out there, which of course the stats are going to reflect. And, this team just cannot seem to get even how well they were running the ball with Khalil Herbert the last 2 games up until the time Herbert got hurt. It still feels like this running game does not have the same identity with the outside zone scheme that it had last year. And I just wonder where that went. It just feels like they've completely gotten away from what made them so successful. And of course, the quarterback and the runs that he generates. The designed runs especially are a big part of that. But I don't know. This run game right now, because it's going to look different for a little bit until you get Khalil Herbert back, which we know won't be until week 10 at a minimum. And Roschon Johnson is still in concussion protocol. They've got to figure out how they're going to compensate using what they did today to, so you're not, I can't do the math right now in my head, but 16 rushes for 65 yards is what? Like 4 yards a carry? Like, that's not awful, but like, you've got to be better than that. Like, that can't be like the norm here going forward.
Any other news or notes that we should be aware of?
Thought it was interesting. One thing that at least stood out to me, they were in dime a lot on third down. And of course, having a healthy secondary, at least for the most part, helps you have that personnel ready to be utilized. But it felt like for once their third down defense wasn't the bugaboo that it's been in recent weeks. So a positive, I guess, you can take away from the mini bye week and the self-scout. I mean, they've definitely gotten more creative in the way that they're going to generate pressure and the looks that they're going to give opposing offenses.
Interesting. All right, Courtney, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll check in with you during the week from Hallis Hall.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Courtney Cronin joining us. You can check out her work on ESPN.com's NFL Nation. And of course, she joins us throughout the week from the morning show, afternoons, and on the midday show with Carmen and Jurko as well. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with your phone calls. 312-332-3776. This is the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Crash, bang, suddenly you are on the DL. If that happens as a result of somebody else's negligence, we can help. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer. Our experienced attorneys and support staff will talk with you during a free consultation, tell you your options, and ensure that you take the right steps throughout the entire process. Visit us at MorisiLongo.com. That's MoriciLongo.com. Your future is our priority.
Dear football fans, at Toyota, we've assembled a hard-nosed championship team. Check out the RAV4's versatile ground game. Get behind the wheel of the Camry and see how this competitor gets its all to win. Or enjoy the Highlander, a big-bodied defender with plenty of room to carry your squad. Plus, all these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive, so you can tackle any terrain. Visit Toyota.com to learn more or check out your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Money saved through energy efficiency can directly benefit a business's bottom line. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for their facilities. Because at ComEd, we're powering your business's future. Learn more at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. ComEd, powering lives. Savings figure is hypothetical only. Actual savings will vary based on the measures implemented and on customers' usage and rate.
Work zone ahead. Slow down, obey signs, and proceed with caution to advance. If you're a pro at navigating your favorite game, you shouldn't have any trouble when it comes to work zones. Failure to obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether workers are present or not. And remember, in real life, you can't just hit the reset button. It's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
You're one of the lucky ones. You were born a Bears fan. And now you're even luckier because with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank Visa debit card, you can get special discounts on certain Bears merch and concessions. Show you're a Bears fan from the gear you wear to the card you carry. PNC Bank. Passion pays. For details on discounts and other offers, visit pnc.com/bearscard. Visa is a registered trademark of Visa International Service Association and used under license. Passion Pays is a registered mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. Copyright 2023 PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, football fans of Chicago. Football season means it's time to start thinking about the roof on your business.
Is it time to winterize?
Make the right call. A game plan that includes the highly trained craftsmen and craftswomen of Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 to get the job done right. To find professionally trained roofing and waterproofing contractors who are dedicated to providing quality, value, and service, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.org. For business roofing and waterproofing,
it's ChicagoRoofingContractors.org.
Hey Bears fans, it's Sylvie. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open on the corner of Lawrence and Harlem in Harwood Heights. Stop in, shop around, and when you spend $29.99 or more, you'll get a $100 Bears gear gift card. Steinhafels has the largest selection of furniture to fit every style and budget, plus all the best mattress brands. To find out more and shop online, visit steinhafels.com. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
Excellence. It means going the extra mile. You know that Volvo cars speak to excellence. And at Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, going the extra mile starts and ends with their culture of care and thoughtfulness. Guys, it's Carmen, and I've seen firsthand how Orloff Volvo goes the extra mile every day for everyone. And the Orloff name attached to the Volvo name is perfect, and they're known for safety and reliability. Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, just off the Kennedy at Armitage in Chicago. Volvo for life.
Coach Matt Eberflus joins ESPN Chicago in the Waddle and Sylvie Show tomorrow at 2:10. Hear the coach only on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Peggy and Jurko post-game on ESPN Chicago.
Welcome back to the Great Clips post-game show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network. At Great Clips, their online check-in app saves you time on haircuts. With just a few taps, you can get in and out with a fresh haircut. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Also, join the greatest salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures. Let's go back to the phone lines. Patrick on the south side, you're up next. Hello, Patrick.
Hi. Yeah, I was wondering, I could ask you a question. Why on the 2 minutes, when they had 2 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock in the end of the game, why couldn't they just run the clock out and get to that 2-minute warning? Why they didn't do that instead of throwing a wounded duck up there? And if the ball was in the air for so long, another thing is, why come DJ Moore couldn't come back and bat that ball down or something or anything like that? Just ask. Why?
No, Patrick, I get you. You'd want him to go ahead and be able to fight for that football. And he was just running with the defensive back, and it looked like they both saw the ball at the same time. So if that's an area of concern for you, why DJ Moore didn't come back and help combat that ball when it looked like both of them saw it at the same time, it's a legitimate concern. Why didn't they? It wasn't an incomplete ball. It was a live clock, wasn't it? And I thought they had to get the snap off before the 2-minute warning.
I thought they did too.
Yeah, I mean, time
they didn't have,
running,
yeah.
Right, they didn't have the luxury of being able to just run it down to 2 minutes. I thought when the previous play had stopped, the clock had run, and you're going to have to run the play before the 2-minute warning anyway. Now, I got to go back and look at the timesheet to see if it was a play that stayed in bounds, that whole ball and wax, but I think that's why that happened. Either way, they threw a blitz in there, and the quarterback's responsible for getting it up in the air. I got no problems with 50-50 balls. I got no problem with DJ Moore going up in the end zone trying to fight for a touchdown. It's not a problem for me, but you got to get the ball there. Now, did he do a good enough job of fighting for the ball that the defensive back saw right away? He didn't.
No.
Almost like he wasn't expecting the ball to come to him.
Right.
Which is still a little bit of a disappointment because if it's in the air, let's go get it. But the ball was grotesquely underthrown.
He wound up like a little kid on the playground. I mean, his back was almost to the end zone when he let that ball fly. I thought he got hit because I saw his back. So he just wound up.
He kind of did it and he bailed out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He did that kind of like.
And then he bailed out
Yes.
so he didn't get smacked in the head.
All right, let's keep going on the phone lines. Woodridge, Scott, you're up next.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. Hey, I've been listening to the show and a couple of things that I wanted to bring up that kind of bother me a little bit. Number one, all the debate over whether or not Justin Fields' game is, with his rating, has gone downhill. I think personally, with the offensive line in the condition that it's in and the lack of any starting running backs, to judge him based on his passer rating, I think is really Patrick Mahomes in with this line and that core of running backs and this coaching staff with no imagination in the offense. And Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have any better passer rating than Justin Fields. That's my opinion. So I don't know what your comment is to that, but I just think it's unfair to judge him based on what he has around him. And then the other thing I'd love to hear comment on that I've heard nobody bring up is the officiating. There were at least 5 no calls that I think should have been called against Minnesota, that there was a helmet-to-helmet on Justin that even the announcers didn't mention. They went right to commercial instead of showing the replay. The overturned call when the Bears recovered a fumble.
On the sideline.
On the sidelines. Yeah. And every announcer, including the official,
Dean Blandino,
every one of them said should be Bears ball, and they overturned it. What is up with that? But there were other calls too. The pass interference call was blatant, I think, and they didn't even mention it. And there were several other calls that I was shaking my head.
Well,
and all of our
I know
friends
Cole
who were
Kmet.
watching the game.
They jumped over the top of Cole Kmet. They didn't go to a lot of replays too.
They didn't.
You're
right.
You're a bad team. You're going to get the crappy guys.
Right. You're not getting the
Robert Smith and whoever Gaudin, whoever that guy was. They were. It was horrific. Just so you're not going to get, and then you're not getting the replays. They're not giving you what you need to see. Justin Fields complained about being hitting the helmet early in the red zone, and it was a helmet-to-helmet shot. He was right at that point. He had become a running back, but it was a helmet-to-helmet shot on your quarterback. He was being brought down by somebody else. Somebody else finished him off. It seems like he's getting the Cam Newton treatment. He's not going to get the calls for some reason or other. They don't want to give him the calls.
Well, that's been a complaint his whole career.
Yep.
And Scott, just to reiterate, if you don't want to go by the passer ratings, you could go by the QBR, which is not the same as the passer rating, and many think it's superior.
Who thinks QBR is
a lot
superior?
of people think QBR is better. You don't. You don't.
Reverse engineered to emphasize the victory when the quarterback sometimes does nothing.
Well,
that's the problem with the QBR. Reverse engineered to overemphasize winning.
Either way, his numbers are low.
Yes, that I agree with.
So either way, you can look at that. You want to look at the passer rating? You want to look at QBR? They're low.
I want you to introduce me to those that think the QBR is superior. I'd like to sit down and chat with them.
Most people who work at ESPN who work with the guys who started
that's
it.
Who created it, right. They created it, so they artificially tried to go to it.
Let's take a break. More of your phone calls when we come back. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Turn up your weekend plans at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Dance the night away every Friday and Saturday night at the Hard Rock Cafe stage. Or grab a cocktail while you listen to local beats at the Council Oak stage. Get closer to your favorite artist than ever before in our state-of-the-art Hard Rock Live, where we host some of the biggest artists in the industry. Live your life at max volume. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Just off Exit 6, I-80-94. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care has been diagnosing and fixing vehicles in Chicagoland for over 60 years. Amco's warranties are honored at over 550 locations nationwide, and their transmission systems check is free. Don't let small problems become worse and more expensive. Amco's technicians can diagnose problems right, and Amco offers up to 12 months of interest-free payments. Search AAMCO or call 1-800-GO-AMCO for a location near you. That's AAMCO. Amco. Transmissions and a whole lot more.
Some people like A and others like B. At BMW, we prefer X. Like the dynamic X3, meant for ultimate exploration. The X5, built to conquer even the most difficult paths. Or the pinnacle of comfort and luxury, the X7. And since every X-Range vehicle is packed with performance and versatility, you'll always get the best of X. The BMW X-Range. Your next X venture starts here. Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
Long week? It's time for a smooth Tito's handmade vodka cocktail. Staying in or going out, serving cocktails for two, or mixing drinks for the party. Barbecuing in the backyard, or snagging your favorite bar stool. No matter the occasion, just add Tito's to kick off the weekend just right. Tito's handmade vodka is distilled from corn and is naturally gluten-free. 80 proof Tito's handmade vodka, 40% alcohol by volume, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Okay, so greaterness isn't technically a word, but in Peoria, Illinois, it might as well be. You see, they're all about greater here. Greater jobs, greater work-life balance, greater opportunities to grow your career. That's a whole lot of greaterness. With hundreds of open positions in a variety of fields, from healthcare to manufacturing to education, even the job prospects are greater. Visit ChooseGreaterPeoria.org to elevate your career.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Wintrust Community Banks, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to wintrust.com/locknewrates or visit one of our over 170 locations today. Bank differently with Wintrust. Member FDIC.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi, Longo & Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is morisilongo.com, MORICILONGO.com.
If you drove a 2023 Nissan Rogue with 5 drive modes, going out for dinner with the family could take you to the great outdoors. But in a basic SUV, family outings might be a little predictable.
Hello, welcome to Basic Town Burgers.
So why settle for ordinary when you could satisfy your taste for adventure? The Nissan Rogue, far from basic.
Optional feature shown. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Personal foul, leaky store brands.
When all else fails, try North Shore adult diapers for even the heaviest control problems. Visit northshore.com.
Hear more Jurko.
Weekdays noon to 2.
ESPN Chicago.
Bears lose to the Vikings 19-13. They drop to 1-5 on the season. 19-13. It sounds like the last time they won at home. It's been a while. It's actually been 385 days. We'll have to wait 392 days for their next home win possibility. That would be next Sunday when they host the Raiders at Soldier Field. 312-332-3776. Back to the phone lines we go here on the postgame show. Let's go to Lombard where Mike is up next. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Bad question, I guess.
Yeah.
I am losing my mind. I'm telling you, the first drive, I looked at my son, and he said, we're done. I don't know why Getsy is not getting nailed more today. This guy needs to go. It's unbelievable. Even the reporter, Cronin was her name, just said, she seems stumped too. Everyone's like, what's going on with the offense? One week we're great, 1 week we're not. Look at the play calling. He drops them back. There's 6 coming in. She said they're seeing blitz packages they don't recognize. You've got one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league. Move them. Play action. Roll them out. 3rd and 8 at the goal line. Well, I'm looking at my son thinking, here we go. He's going to roll them out. He'll bring the defense up and throw the ball. No. Drop back. It's like, what is wrong with this guy? And what I don't understand, Peggy, is when everyone asks the question, I hope to God someone has the guts to say to Getsy, why didn't you adjust? What happened to play call? When he dodges the question and says, well, we're learning, we're this and that, I hope one of you guys can follow up and say, you didn't ask the question. I know the Bears have to make sure some people tiptoe around this stuff. If Getsy would have called the play calls from last week, this never happened. And every other sentence today, people aren't bringing him up. To the life of me, it's bizarre how everyone sees it's the scheme and the play. Even Justin Fields a few weeks ago got nailed for saying it's the coaching. He's letting everyone know. I don't know if it's arrogance or what it is, but Getsy just won't call the plays around the strength of his quarterback. 6 points, you're right. The defense of Minnesota or of the Bears played pretty well. 6 points at half? That's unconscionable what this guy called. So I hope next week the Bears fans have to really call for this guy to go. Because it was disgusting.
The one thing I can
Mike,
guarantee
thank
you, at 3-14 or 4-13, this team is going to fire their coaching staff. This coaching staff will not be here if they go 3-14 2 years in a row. I promise you that. And there's no way in hell anybody's going to stand for that.
There's a lot of people who want to talk about the coaching moves today. Let's go out to Ohio, listening in on the ESPN Chicago app. William is standing by. Hello, William.
Hi, William. Hi, thank you very much for taking my call. I grew up in Chicago, came to Ohio State, in Ohio, watching Justin Fields, watching how he can do things. I'm stuck in Columbus, Ohio, that unless you're playing Cincinnati, you're playing prime time, they're not going to show it. So today I get a day off. I go out to the Bears bar, Bears backers, and we're all sitting there, standing there. Why aren't they rolling Justin out? Why are they calling these plays, standing him back? These coaches want to call their game. He's a coach from Green Bay. We don't have the line, don't have Aaron Rodgers to stand there and do this. And Justin Fields, you roll him out, defense has to come to him. You roll someone behind him, and it's an easy dump off that can get it. Or I'm just watching the Jets game right now. Zach Martin, he's hitting a guy on a 6-yard slant. Why aren't we doing these things?
Zach Wilson.
They need to get rid of the coach.
Appreciate it. Yep. They don't win games. The coaches are going to go. That's the way it works. And Zach Wilson is hitting guys like that. I don't know who Zach Martin is.
William, thank you very much. Out to Streamwood we go quickly. Matt, you're up next.
Hey, Peggy, Jurko, thanks for taking my phone call. Peggy and Jurko, how many wins in this division will save Ryan Pohl's job? I mean, if we have one win in this division, which I don't think we might not have this year unless Green Bay or Minnesota decide to rest their people, will one win in this division in 2 years save Ryan Pohl's job?
I don't think Ryan Pohl's job is in jeopardy. I think the head coach's job is in jeopardy and the rest of his coaching staff.
Kevin Warren and them will give him a pass, Jurko. It seems like they have no feel for this division whatsoever.
That's the way you're putting it, Matt. You're putting it at he's going to get, he's going to get a pass. I put it at his responsibility is to put the Bears in the best position during free agency and in the draft. They bottomed out last year. Things don't look good right now, but this is a long-term deal. You got 2 first picks. You might have more draft equity this year than you realize. That might turn it into multiple picks. Something that he had to turn around after Ryan Pace left town because they traded everything away. Slowly but surely, he's trying to get more players. You make more mistakes if you have more draft choices.
Matt, thank you. And as for the whole argument with Luke Getsy, and I know what he's going to say. Teams show you different defenses; they give you different looks, some things that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, but you're supposed to have basic concepts that take care of that are all encompassing, that allow you to know and everybody to know that this is the guy that's going to come free. This is the guy. The offensive line's got to talk to each other. The quarterback's got to talk to the offensive line and let everybody know what's happening, what's going on. They went empty backfield on the first play. Do you guys understand that? Empty backfield. They put 6 at the front of the line of scrimmage. One guy was coming free. That's the way it was going to be. Now, the guys on the field need to know that one guy's going to be scot-free, and then they've got to identify what side that's coming from, depending upon the slide and what protection they call. So if the slide is going right, and those 5 guys on the right are being accounted for, then I, as the quarterback, know that the guy on my backside is going to run free, and he's going to be the guy that's going to pressure me. So if I've got any semblance of sense when it comes to football, I know to buy myself a little bit of extra time. I'm going to go on a little bit of a slight roll or a bias to the right side and maybe get behind the guard to buy myself that extra half a second that I might need. Okay? It's not complicated. It's not a complicated concept. Okay? But you've got to be able to do it under duress at the beginning of a football game where you're supposed to bring your funk from the kickoff until the final whistle, not from after the first quarter until the rest of the game. It doesn't work that way.
And I know that Brian Flores sends the pressure more than any other team in the NFL. But, I don't know, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, LA, and Kansas City all figured out a way how to defend it and how to beat it and how to beat the Vikings as well. Let's take more of your phone calls when we come back. Let's take a break.
Touchdown, Chicago. It's game day at Bill Jacobs Auto Group. We tackle the competition the Bill Jacobs way with a commitment to excellence, just like our beloved hometown team. As a third-generation family-run business, we know the value of community involvement and a winning service experience unlike any other dealership. Score big with our vast selection of new and used vehicles, all at fair and upfront pricing. Visit BillJacobs.com to start your car buying journey today. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in and the experience brings you back.
Money saved through energy efficiency can directly benefit a business's bottom line. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for their facilities. Because at ComEd, we're powering your business's future. Learn more at comed.com/poweringbiz. ComEd, powering lives. Savings figure is hypothetical only. Actual savings will vary based on the measures implemented and on customers' usage and rate.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays. Bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish. Going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Dear football fans, at Toyota, we've assembled a hard-nosed championship team. Check out the RAV4's versatile ground game. Get behind the wheel of the Camry and see how this competitor gets its all to win. Or enjoy the Highlander, a big-bodied defender with plenty of room to carry your squad. Plus, all these vehicles come with available all-wheel drive, so you can tackle any terrain. Visit Toyota.com to learn more or check out your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Chicago fans, I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. We know injuries are part of the game, and if you've been in an accident, part of your life too. When the insurance companies are trying to score against you, we're there to intercept. Football fans, we are ready to fight for you. With over $100 million in recoveries for our injured clients, we know how to tackle the competition. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4million or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4million.
Work zone ahead. Slow down, obey signs, and proceed with caution to advance. If you're a pro at navigating your favorite game, you shouldn't have any trouble when it comes to work zones. Failure to obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether workers are present or not. And remember, in real life, you can't just hit the reset button. It's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 provides quality, value, and service in all facets of the commercial, industrial, and institutional roofing and waterproofing industry, promoting skilled craftsmen and craftswomen through apprenticeship training. Local 11 members are trained in the application of the latest roofing and waterproofing techniques. They are at the forefront of design and installation of environmental-friendly solar, green, and garden systems. To find a highly skilled roofing contractor today, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.org.
Welcome to another wonderful Bears football night, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to raise up your flags, put your jerseys on, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, Bears fans save big on game days. Save 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. Yes, that's another touchdown to you all. Download the Fuel Rewards app to join and game on.
Must be a Fuel Rewards. Offer ends January 7, 2024. Limit 20 gallons. Other restrictions apply.
Chicago's home for sports is Chicago's new home of the Bears. ESPN Chicago.
Lance Briggs in studio, Monday, 9:30 with Cap and Jay Hood.
I formation blasting him ahead of Foreman. Bagent under center brings Komet in motion. Little tush push from Komet on Tyson Bagent. No call yet. Big pile up. My goodness, he only had a half a yard to go. Come on, throw him up. That's right. Sarah Thomas taking care of business. Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! 7:46 to go. Tyson Bagent, the rookie out of Shepherd, undrafted, makes this football team, impresses in the preseason, and just leads a drive where he went 4 of 4 and gets the Bears' first touchdown of the day and tightens things up. 55 yards on 4 throws by Tyson Bagent.
Finding the great, it was Tyson Bagent, the rookie. I'm calling that not the tush push, calling that the rook push. His first NFL touchdown in relief of an injured Justin Fields. Fields will have an MRI on his right hand and thumb on Monday. X-rays were negative. Bagent finishes 10 of 14 for 83 yards, an interception. Unfortunately, also a fumble on the strip sack, scoop and score for the Vikings. He finishes with a rating of 56.5. But finding the great at Great Clips, their online check-in app saves you time on haircuts. With just a few taps, you can get in and out with a fresh haircut. Great Clips, it's going to be great. Also, join the greatest salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures.
I'm guessing 300 plus games for Jeff Joniak.
Yeah.
How many specific line judge references have you ever had?
Sarah Thomas?
Yeah.
That he actually named Sarah Thomas getting it done.
You had it before. You ever hear the name like Dale Hammer or anything? Hey, Dale Hammer with the touchdown call. Thank you, Dale Hammer. Have you ever, I'm guessing, how many have you heard over the course of a lifetime? 300 plus games for Jeff Joniak. How many times have you heard a line judge reference?
Never.
I'm guessing one.
Yeah.
And that's today.
Today.
Yeah.
I will have to say that, and for those of you remember, Sarah Thomas was the first NFL female official, and she was the line judge today in the Bears game. But I did crack up because he did keep referring to her by name, and we didn't hear any of the other names unless it's, the head referee.
I don't even know who the head referee was today.
But I did watching the game with you, and you kept going, the lady's got it.
Yeah,
the lady's got it. She's got the first down. Let her make the call.
Right. So they had two coming in from the sidelines. And then I looked at who was past it. And I said, the lady's got it. So she's got it. Make sure. And you could see her talking to the other official, say, I've got the spot. I've got the spot here. So then that other official then adjusts to her.
Yeah. So it was, but yeah.
But it was noticeable.
That JJ
well, no, I mean, I just heard the call for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how many other line judges have been mentioned over the course of his lifetime. Maybe he does it all the time, Maybe he's got every referee's name at the drop of a hat, I don't know. I just found it interesting, that's all.
312-332-3776. We will continue on the phone lines. Do you want me to keep going on the phones or should we take a break? Let's take a break real quick here so that we can take more of your phone calls. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show. This is the Bears Radio Network.
Don't miss out on the best gaming in Chicagoland. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, where we're sure to have the action you crave. The choice is yours with a world-class selection of over 1,700 slots and 80 table games. Enjoy some of your favorite games like blackjack, roulette, craps, and baccarat. A roll of the dice or a spin of the reels, and you could be a winner. Live life at max volume at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Just off Exit 6, I-80-94. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of BMW performance without a single piston or cylinder. A generation of all-electric vehicles designed and built like no other. The BMW iX, i7, and i4 revolutionize every drive into a thrilling opportunity to feel the pure rush of BMW 100% electric. But isn't that what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine? Take advantage of exceptional lease and finance offers today.
From the backyard to the big screen, pair this year's tailgate with Tito's handmade vodka. Fill your roster with a bottle of the good stuff and enough garnishes to last till halftime. Then snag your favorite seat on the couch with an ice-cold Tito's cocktail in hand. In our playbook, that means you're a winner before the game even starts. For game day recipes, gear, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly. Peoria, Illinois, that wildly underrated peach of a place downstate, wants you to take its jobs. Okay, so they're careers, really. High-paying ones at world-class companies. And there are hundreds of them just waiting for someone with as much talent as you to say, bleep it, I'm moving to Peoria. But that overabundance of opportunity isn't the only thing Peoria has going for it. To explore all the perks and to land your dream career, head to choosegreaterpeoria.org.
At Great Clips, we know you live a full life, which is why we're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylists at any Great Clip salon. Plus, with convenient online check-in and everyday great prices, you save time and money too. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, we are. And when you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Download our app today.
Crash, bang, suddenly you are on the DL. If that happens as a result of somebody else's negligence, we can help. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer. Our experienced attorneys and support staff will talk with you during a free consultation, tell you your options, and ensure that you take the right steps throughout the entire process. Visit us at moricilongo.com. That's MORICILONGO.com. Your future is our priority.
If you drove a 2023 Nissan Rogue with 5 drive modes, going out for dinner with the family could take you to the great outdoors. But in a basic SUV, family outings might be a little predictable.
Hello, welcome to Basic Town Burgers.
So why settle for ordinary when you could satisfy your taste for adventure? The Nissan Rogue, far from basic.
Optional feature shown. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
You're one of the lucky ones. You were born a Bears fan. And now you're even luckier because with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank Visa debit card, you can get special discounts on certain Bears merch and concessions. Show you're a Bears fan from the gear you wear to the card you carry. PNC Bank. Passion pays. For details on discounts and other offers, visit pnc.com/bearscard. Visa is a registered trademark of Visa International Service Association and used under license. Passion Pays is a registered mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. Copyright 2023 PNC Bank National Association, member FDIC.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
ESPN Chicago. Every Bears game on FM 100.3 HD2 ESPN Chicago.
Welcome back to the postgame show. This is the Great Clips postgame show on the Bears Radio Network. And we will be following the Bears this week on news of Justin Fields' injury on his right hand, right thumb. X-rays immediately after the game were negative. He will have an MRI on Monday. Other injuries to follow is Nate Davis, the guard, left injured, walked off gingerly today. Eddie Jackson left, but according to Courtney Cronin, it seemed that Eddie Jackson could have come back. He was on a rotational basis anyways, returning from injury as it was. But as it was today, the Bears lose as they continue looking for their first win at home in quite a long time. And the Bears offense was stalled today. They finished with 275 total yards, but neither offense looked great today. It was not the prettiest of games, and the Bears end up on the losing end of it. Let's continue on the phone lines, 312-332-3776. Josh has been very patient in Mantino. Hello, Josh.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the call. I appreciate it. The point that I want to make is, the defense played better today. Not great, but better. I still think Tyreek Stevenson should be wearing a green vest and helping park cars on the Waldron deck instead of trying to cover receivers, but that's neither here nor there. Here's my question. All week, I heard Flores and the Vikings, they're going to blitz. They're going to blitz. They're going to blitz. They're going to blitz.
Yep.
Why did we look completely unprepared for it, even though that's all we heard all week? Back in the day, when the Bears had a legit good defense, other teams neutralized the pass rush by scheming it to get the ball out super quick slants, quick outs, screens, whatever. How come we looked completely unprepared, even though that's all we heard all week they were going to do?
Absolutely stunning. I'm stunned by it. Couldn't believe it. It was the first play of the game. It wasn't the 10th play. It wasn't the 15th play. They showed you 6 up front against 0 backs in the backfield, empty backfield, and you knew they had too many. And depending, they always show they're going to bring 6 and they drop somebody off. So they went, if you didn't know and you didn't have a theory that somebody was going to come free, what were you doing all week? I don't understand it.
Well, it sure made Brian Flores look like a genius.
Yeah.
So many looks that they didn't see before. They didn't see him on tape.
It's the one team he looked like a genius against.
Right? I mean, 4 other teams figured out a way to beat it. Let's go to Evanston. John, you're up next. Hi, John.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Lousy game, great post game. Thank you for that.
Well,
I have a comp for Justin Fields. It seems to me like the relationship between a quarterback and their coaching staff is a husband and a wife. And right now, this wife is trying to change the husband, thinking I can make him better. You can't change your husband. You work with what you've got. And the comp I think the Bears need to work with for Justin Fields is Antoine Randall L. I just wanted your opinion on that.
Antoine Randall, you want to make him a receiver? Is that what you're looking to do?
I want to make him a running quarterback that can play a whole lot of different stuff because right now he's not happy doing what he's doing, and they're not going to change him.
Oh, Antoine Randall in college at the Indiana
Yeah,
University.
at IU.
Yeah. I thought you meant with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Though
No, at IU.
He did throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. I'll have you know that. So that's what you're looking for him to do. I say there's a limited shelf life on that quarterback in the NFL. You've got to become more of a refined passer in the NFL, but you can still utilize whatever Justin Fields brings to the table via mobility and via the ability to run. I think they tried to do that a little bit today. I think the timing of the offense was unsettled on about 3-4 snaps by your center today, which is why he ended up getting benched at the end of it all. Even the snaps that were coming, and the other guy that came in wasn't that much better either. His snaps were low. So I want a quarterback that can play well out of pocket. I need a quarterback that when you're down 2 scores, 10 points, 11 points, has got to be able to muster up a comeback. That's what I need to have.
I know, and we're up against the clock here, but it will be interesting to see this week with Tyson Bagent. Maybe, just maybe, he fits Luke Getsy's offense
I don't know.
better.
He played bad.
We'll see.
Just because you played better than Justin Fields today doesn't mean you played good. Neither quarterback played at the NFL minimum standard, period. That's it.
Our thanks to executive producer Eric Ostrowski, Justin Pottinger, and Kevin Zepak. Thanks to our broadcast crew, Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, and Jason McKee. Our guest today, linebacker TJ Edwards, head coach Matt Eberflus, and QB2 Tyson Bagent. Thank you for all of your phone calls and for listening as well. The Bears lose to the Vikings today, 19-13. They dropped to 1-5 on the season, still looking for their first win in front of the Soldier Field faithful in what will be 392 days come Sunday when they host the Las Vegas Raiders. For Jurko, I'm Peggy Kaczynski. You've been listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears radio network. As we say goodbye to our affiliates, we welcome the rest of you to stand by for the postgame show coming up next. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for a station identification. This is the Bears radio network.
The new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WSHE HD2, Chicago.
Excellence. It means going the extra mile. You know that Volvo cars speak to excellence. And at Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, going the extra mile starts and ends with their culture of care and thoughtfulness. Guys, it's Carmen, and I've seen firsthand how Orloff Volvo goes the extra mile every day for everyone. And the Orloff name attached to the Volvo name is perfect, and they're known for safety and reliability. Howard Orloff Volvo Cars, just off the Kennedy at Armitage in Chicago. Volvo for life.
Hey Bears fans, it's Sylvie. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open on the corner of Lawrence and Harlem in Harwood Heights. Stop in, shop around, and when you spend $29.99 or more, you'll get a $100 Bears Gear gift card. Steinhoffel's has the largest selection of furniture to fit every style and budget, plus all the best mattress brands. To find out more and shop online, visit steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffel's.
Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care has been diagnosing and fixing vehicles in Chicagoland for over 60 years. Amco's warranties are honored at over 550 locations nationwide, and their transmission systems check is free. Don't let small problems become worse and more expensive. Amco's technicians can diagnose problems right, and Amco offers up to 12 months of interest-free payments. Search AAMCO or call 1-800-GO-AMCO for a location near you. That's AAMCO. Amco, transmissions and a whole lot more.
Bears football and Miller Lite, Chicago's greatest pairing. Can cracks a kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Battles on Sundays. Bliss on Mondays. Going deep dish. Going tavern style. Bearing down, then raising one up. You never forget the way some things taste. Bears football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Football fans, put someone on your team that's ready to fight for you. I'm Julio Costa of Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers. Our team combines technology and expertise to deliver a first-class client experience and get you the wins that you deserve. We're here to help fans everywhere with their injury-related needs. Winning consistently isn't easy. Let us show you what Football Tough Injury Lawyers can do for you. Call us at 708-4MILLION or visit our website at cilaw.com for a free consult.
Costa Ivoni Injury Lawyers, 708-4-million.
Money saved through energy efficiency can directly benefit a business's bottom line. That's why businesses throughout Northern Illinois are partnering with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program to find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for their facilities. Because at ComEd, we're powering your business's future. Learn more at comed.com/poweringbiz. ComEd, powering lives. Savings figure is hypothetical only. Actual savings will vary based on the measures implemented and on customers' usage and rate.
Work zone ahead. Slow down, obey signs, and proceed with caution to advance. If you're a pro at navigating your favorite game, you shouldn't have any trouble when it comes to work zones. Failure to obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether workers are present or not. And remember, in real life, you can't just hit the reset button. It's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
Touchdown, Chicago. Bill Jacobs Auto Group is all about commitment to excellence. As a third-generation family-run business, we tackle every day with passion and pride, just like our beloved team. Experience the Bill Jacobs way. Top-notch service is the name of the game. With a winning lineup of new and used vehicles, fair and upfront pricing, we're the dealership that scores big. Visit Bill Jacobs Auto Group today and drive home a winner. Bill Jacobs. The cars bring you in and the experience brings you back.
The Chicago Bears' new home. ESPN Chicago.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Melt, and Pat the Designer.
We're here again. Get it out. We're here again. Bears fall to 1-5, losing at home to the Minnesota Vikings. Yep. They lured us back in just ever so momentarily after a nice performance, especially offensively for 2 weeks in a row, even though they only got one win. And yet, today, the Bears lose to the Vikings, who come into this game at 1-4. They bounce back to 2-4, and just lots of problems all around. And probably most significantly is what occurred on this play.
Zero defensive backs deep as Justin takes the snap with time now running out of time.
Throw it
from behind, and down he goes. He got rid of the football as he was going down to the ground. Tracked down from behind by Daniil Hunter.
Is it the quarterback was down prior to the pass?
Yeah, I thought so too. At the 47-yard line, and the clock's running, and Justin coming up a little painful, holding the groin area. Fourth down as they will punt the ball. Gill to set it back.
Now, obviously, we find out later it was clearly his thumb as he was holding his hand near his groin, so that's why JJ said that on the broadcast. But, of course, we are all Tom Thayer in that moment. Throw it! So Justin Fields leaves the game, doesn't come back. X-rays are negative, but of course he'll have an MRI as he deals with a thumb injury. That is the biggest issue coming out of this game, but there's plenty to talk about as well. Vikings beat the Bears 19-13 again at Soldier Field. The Bears have now lost 11 in a row to NFC North opponents. They haven't won a home game in over a year, and they're now 1-5 on the season. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Jason McKee and Pat the Designer. We're hanging out with you until 7 o'clock today. J-Mac was on the sidelines watching that one in person. Initial thoughts, boys?
Oh, you gonna start with me? You. I'm trying to gather. I'm trying to gather my thoughts from actually, seeing that in person. Just from a standpoint of, everybody keeps talking about the first play, and I'm standing right there looking at the first play, right? Mm-hmm. And it just makes you wonder, right? How prepared were you, knowing that the Vikings is the defense led by defensive coordinator Brian Flores that brings pressure all the time, and you go empty. Right, you split out Kyrie to the right, Deontay Foreman to left, empty, so it's 5-man protection, meaning 5 offensive linemen staying in the block. Right, they've got 6. They bring 1 extra guy that you can block. Justin takes that big hit, starting off the game. I mean, that was the game in a nutshell. It just didn't look like we were prepared. Every time we did something offensively, we did something to hurt ourselves. Either a penalty, obviously the turnovers. Defensively, I thought the defense played well enough to win this game. Yeah. And it just happens when you're not playing that complementary football that Coach Flus keeps talking about. You're gonna have losses like this. losses on top of losses on top of losses on top of losses. And that's what we've seen. That's what we've seen the last, how many weeks have we seen this? Over and over again besides last week.
Yeah.
Like you said, they lured us back in, and now we're back at square one where we were before.
I think the biggest part that was concerning was there was equal blame to go around. I know we're going to get the calls in on, Justin was this, Bagent was this, Flus was this, Getsy was this. I think you have to look at everybody, right? When maybe the play calling was at its best, the players continue to shoot themselves in the foot by penalties offensively that just destroy drives. I think that when you started to see maybe some semblance of moving the ball forward, running the football, you got to mix in some pass with it, right? Cody Whitehair's trying to snap it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back there. And when you've got that many issues popping up, I don't care what Flus says after the game, right? We heard him. He's like, the snap issues were not the reason I benched the guy. No, when a guy has problems, when a guy is hurting your team, it's okay to say, as a leader, as a grown man, as somebody who, does this for a living, yes, we benched him because he was playing poorly. He played poorly the entire game, and there were too many things for the Bears to overcome. I think the refereeing crew is a part of that as well, but I look at this team as a whole, and when you put the game in the hands of a refereeing crew to make the right decisions on some very pivotal moments in the game, you know that you're not going to come out of that game victorious more times than not.
Well, yeah, and to that point, a couple of things, a lot of good points in both of what you guys said there. The fact that the defense did hold the Vikings to 19 points and the Bears still had an opportunity, you're relying on a rookie quarterback who's seeing his first actual professional regular season competition here to bring you down, and you still had an opportunity to make a play. That I'm not really mad at the defense at all. And we all come into this game knowing that the strength of this team is not the defense, unfortunately. It's pretty obvious. It has been for the last 2 weeks. The offense is going to have to do the heavier lifting this season if there's going to be any success for the organization as a whole, and that just hasn't been there enough. But it's frustrating because we believe they're capable of it because, again, of what we've seen the last 2 weeks. And admittedly, we all know how bad the Denver Broncos defense is, but Justin Fields put on a clinic in that first half, the likes of which we have never seen a Bears quarterback do. And then to come back against Washington and have a very excellent game yet again, it's just frustrating. And everything you said there is spot on and maddening because this was, in my opinion, an inflection point for both games in the NFC North. We knew the Vikings were up against it, dealing with an injury to their far and away their all-pro, their best player, Justin Jefferson. The Bears had, to Jason's point about what happened on that first play, it's not like they didn't have the extra couple of days to prep for this and maybe catch your opponent. And yet, still, you come out and you give that effort. It's just maddening as a Bears fan, and we're taking your calls, 312-332-3776. I agree with you, Pat. Matt Eberflus's explanations, stop. We don't need I mean, I don't know. Maybe, Jason, maybe you can speak to it a little bit. I don't know if he needs to protect Cody Whitehair at this point. I mean, I don't know how much do you put to, because for as bad as Justin looked, which seemed like every other snap having to account for that. It's you can tell us how just changing up a quarterback, that little having to take his eyes off of the defense, and which we know has been the biggest issue for Justin is feeling comfortable and seeing what he sees and dissecting it. Now he's got to account for bad snaps almost every other snap.
It just disrupts everything offensively. The timing, right? Route, being a pocket passer and a quarterback, right? What they tried to make him today, or any quarterback for that matter. When you're trying to, call certain route concepts, it's all about timing. It's all about rhythm. And when you have a bad snap, when the quarterback's got to, adjust to the ball's over his head, the ball's to the left and the ball's to the right, it just disrupts the timing. Now the routes are developing faster, but your quarterback's progress in his mechanics is slower because he has to account for a bad snap, let alone now he's got to account for a bad snap and try to process the defense. But now he's a second too late. So therefore you see more pressure and you see breakdowns, offensively. So that's just something that can't happen. That's just routine. You know what I mean? And it's going to happen. There's things that's going to happen. But it like you said, it kept happening with Justin. And you saw Tyson, come in at quarterback, and it happened with him as well.
And real quick, Pat, the one thing that I want to say, too, I don't want to let Ryan Poles off the hook. we came into the season, into the draft, knowing that center was an issue based on the performance that they had from Lucas Patrick last year. Lucas Patrick can snap better than Cody Whitehair, but he struggles to block. And then you have Cody Whitehair there who blocks better but can't snap. And I think we've probably hit the point with Cody Whitehair where he probably shouldn't be center unless it's an absolute emergency situation. And that's just something that I think Ryan Poles should have recognized as well. John Michael Schmitz, highly regarded as one of the best center prospects coming into a draft in the last few years, was available in the second round. The Bears traded up to select which defensive tackle? Was it Stevenson? I don't know. They all run together at this point.
Stevenson came from. No, they did. They traded up to get Stevenson.
Yeah, so they traded up to get Stevenson, and then the very next pick, John Michael Schmitz is selected, and clearly he's been somebody who the Giants have been, smitten with. So it's infuriating that this is an issue when there's so many other things that need to go right for a football team. You can't be worrying about the snap.
Well, I think it also goes to looking at it from Poles' aspect, right? Which hole did you want to address? Crazy. Wow. I mean, like that's really what you have to talk about when you look at what this season is, right? Like, which hole did you really want to go out there and attack most? You went out and got Javon Dexter, you get Zach Pickens, you get a DB that I think realistically he's drafted 3 DBs here in his time here in 2 years. He's probably saying we need to address this DB market, 4 DBs in his time here in 2 years. He's probably saying we need to address this DB market that we have here. On the offensive side, he goes out and gets a right tackle, drafts some young wide receivers, different things like that. And you realize that there's so many holes on this team that where do you want to pick, right? Which one do you want to pick to try and fix now? Is that a cop-out? Is that the right answer? Is that no, all right? Like, if I had a better center in here today, we probably are able to come away with successful offensive plays a little bit quicker than when you finally put Lucas Patrick in and the football was snapped normally.
Yeah, it was that. That's what it was. Stevenson obviously was a pick right in front of Schmitz. Dexter, though, was taken with their first pick in the second round. So,
you missed on them twice.
Yeah,
I mean, we're you guys were talking about players, right? And obviously, players can overcome a scheme, but at the same time, players have to execute whatever scheme they're being put in.
Yeah.
So, a basic fundamental like snapping, and I'm not a center, so if I was snapping, I probably had snaps like that as well. But at the same time, these basic fundamentals and these basic things have been coming back to haunt us all year.
Yeah.
And they've been the reason why there's been losses, right? Defensively, early in the season, missed tackles, right? Breakdowns and coverages, can't get off the field on third down. Offensively, right? Bad snaps, timing's off in the passing game, taking sacks, breakdown in protections. When you see this team actually, execute and really hone in on the details, like Coach Flus always talks about, you have a chance to be in games, just like last week. But we've seen that we haven't seen that enough. And we've always seen there's some type of breakdown somewhere. There's a lapse in protection. There's a misread, right? Justin's holding the ball too long. We can't stop the run. It's just all that stuff in a nutshell. And that's the reason why we've been losing so much, because when you have a team that can't execute, regardless of who the players are on the field, you don't have a chance in the world of winning.
Yeah, no, and I think the biggest problem, the part that probably irritates Bears fans the most today is that's 10 days. You had 10 days to try and see, okay, what's the team that we're going up against here? You had 10 days to sit there and go, hey, guess what Brian Flores is going to do? We said immediately after the game, guess what Brian Flores is going to do? He's going to blitz. Guess what Brian Flores did? He blitzed all night. He looked like Coach Boone, and remember the time, not Coach Boone, Coach Yost.
Hey, look what he did to Patrick Mahomes. You had an opportunity to watch that game, so you got ahead in scouting. You got a chance to watch that game, and you saw the amount of pressure that they was bringing on Patrick Mahomes. Not just pressure in terms of defensive front, but him bringing the safeties down, bailing. He's going to show you all kind of exotic looks. So you had an opportunity to get ahead of this thing, right? Yep. You had a chance to get off your feet, right? You get a bye, get guys back healthy, but at the same time, you still got to prepare as if you have a game on Sunday.
Yeah, we're reacting to the Bears' loss to the Vikings, 19-13. They're now 1-5 on the season. Again, the only optimism I can point out to is right now, yet again, they're sitting 1-2 in the NFL draft. If the season ended today, I know that's not something Bears fans can get excited about, but the reality is that's where they're at right now. So Carolina Panthers jumped out early on top of the Dolphins, 14-0, but they are certainly not capable of holding on to a lead against an offense like that. So that's the one thing the Bears got going for them. You can win some games and still end up with the first overall pick. The Panthers, that's the one. I will give Ryan Poles credit. This trade that he made is setting up to be one of the best in Bears history.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on. And I guess you have to look at it in the sense of, right, if we're having that conversation.
Well, just
he didn't draft Justin Fields.
Yes.
So he's going to get an opportunity to draft his QB.
Yes.
Or his whoever offensive lineman, whatever it is that he wants. But he has free reign of 1 and 2 right now.
Or potentially a game-breaking player, an elite superstar, whether it's someone like Marvin Harrison Jr., who Fields can throw to, if we can actually properly evaluate Justin Fields. But again, getting him consistent snaps would help in going through that evaluation process. So this is why I get so frustrated, is because you see what he can do on that Thursday night against Washington, or against Denver. Perfect. 16 for 16 in the first half until he throws a Hail Mary. He's capable of a lot of great things. Yeah. Physically, we know it. We saw him running all that last year. He hasn't really had to go into that bag this year because the opportunities haven't presented themselves as much, but we know he's capable of that. Physically, there's almost no other quarterback in the league you'd rather have. We just need to have him get it, and we need to see him get it, and he needs to be afforded every opportunity. That's why I'm so mad today. I hate when these wasted opportunities go by the board, and now, again, we're not sure when Justin Fields will be able to start again for the Bears. It may be a few weeks because, for a quarterback, you need the ability to grip the football with your thumb. It's just basic.
Yeah, and it's just, like you said, when you see this team actually execute, and everybody's on the same page, you can make things happen. You have a chance to win. And that goes back to not just the players, but the coaches included. When you put together a good game plan that fits your personnel, then you have a chance, right? So if I'm an offensive coordinator, like we talked about this over and over again, if I have a quarterback that's mobile, that's athletic, is really accurate on the move, or I want to, we're having lapses in protection, and I can do things to where I can, get him out of the pocket so that way the onus is just not on the offensive line. Well, that's what I have to do. And, against a team like the Minnesota Vikings, which with how much pressure they bring, we didn't see that today. You saw a coordinator was trying to have a quarterback sit in the pocket that's not a pocket passer. Yeah. It's like we regressed. It's like the last 2 weeks, it didn't make sense. Last 2 weeks,
looked like that week 2 scheme, didn't it?
Yeah, we saw progress. Okay, he's moving the pocket. He's doing things. Justin's getting the ball out quick. He's 3-step drop. Quick passing game, getting them on the move, keeping the defense on their heels, not allowing that pass rush to get to Justin Fields, regardless of the protection, right? And then, like you said, Pat, we went back to Tampa Bay, and I was down there melting in Tampa Bay, and they were melting Justin Fields with the amount of pressure they was bringing because he was sitting in the pocket, right? Yeah. So you put the onus on that offensive line. They got to make the correct calls. If there's any confusion or any breakdown of protection, guess what happened? Your quarterback's getting hit. That ball's coming out late, and now he's shell-shocked, right? So everybody's complaining, he's holding the ball. They're not open. He can't see it because he's getting so much pressure.
That's Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat, the designer, the post-game show, taking your calls, 312-332-3776. We're taking your calls next, and we'll also let you hear from the head coach, Matt Eberflus, on the Cody Whitehair decision, not benching. Next.
The new home of the Bears. Former Bear Lance Briggs is live in studio with Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 9:30 on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
What's up? It's Tyler Rocky. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 guaranteed in bonus bets, whether your first bet wins or loses. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is super easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, futures, same-game parlays, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/Tyler and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/Tyler. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You must be 21 and older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Fall is the best time of year. So much going on in the sports world and so much going on with my guys over at Window Nation. Right now, you get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 full years. Now, I used to have old windows that were hard to open and close. They were drafty and leaky, and I called Window Nation, and they educated me on every step of the process. The best customer service. Plus, I have saved money on my energy bills, 30% year over year. I've loved Window Nation's knowledgeable exterior designers, quick, clean, accurate, professional installation. Not to mention, you'll love the savings with this fantastic offer. Put no money down, make no payments, pay no interest for 2 full years. Every 2 windows you'll buy, you'll get 2 windows free. This offer will disappear as fast as it leaves, so call today, 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com, 866-90NATION, or check them out online at windownation.com.
Carmen and Jurko. The next Friday football feast is at Buffalo Wild Wings in Berwyn. It's Friday, October 27th, and it's brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller Lite, and Alta Equipment. Please feast responsibly.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Bears fall 19-13 at Soldier Field, hosting the Vikings this week. I mentioned, I don't know if I ever actually got to it, but this was an inflection point in the NFC North. I think both teams had an opportunity here to salvage their season, and certainly the Bears season is not over. But at 1-5 now, it really feels like you're up against it, and it becomes much harder to wrap your mind around the idea of being competitive. You win this game today, though, you're 2-4. And all of a sudden, you feel like, okay, you know what? The Detroit Lions are fine, but they're not. I feel like people are getting carried away. And based on the performance the Bears had the previous 2 weeks, had they gotten this game, it truly feels like the whole feeling is different. We don't have to go back to the draft talk just yet. But now, with this loss today, again, another home loss. They haven't won at Soldier in over a year now.
386 days.
That's too many.
Wow.
You know, and this was a team, the Vikings, who were coming in here, and they were certainly beatable without Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins doing Kirk Cousin things. I don't know what was going on with that. You mentioned letting the refs, make some boneheaded plays. Even Dean Blandino couldn't believe what was happening as they went to him in the Fox booth. Kirk Cousins throws the ball backwards as he's under pressure, and Cam Akers then sees the ball on the ground, and instead of just jumping on it, I think he was unsure as to whether or not it was complete or incomplete or a fumble. So he starts to kind of try to pick it up, but he actually then starts pushing it because he can't garner it, starts pushing it towards the sidelines. TJ Edwards falls on it, makes what I think was a great play to keep it in bounds and recover. They initially rule it a recovery on the field by TJ Edwards, but then they go to the booth and they overturn it. This was Dean Blandino's breakdown, the former NFL official who they go to in those circumstances. This was his breakdown initially on Fox.
Well, we've got Dean Blandino out in Los Angeles. They're looking at this, Dean. Does it look like a clear recovery off the fumble?
It's close, but to me, it looks like Edwards gets control of the ball. It's his right foot that's going to slide out of bounds. He has to have control prior to that and maintain that control. It looks like he does. This will be a good look. He gets the hand on, he starts to bring it in. It's actually that left foot that slides out of bounds, and they're going to have to determine, did he have control prior to something touching out? To me, it's too close to change.
It is, in fact, a backward pass, which was not recovered in bounds by Chicago. Therefore, it is still Minnesota's ball, second down.
Okay, so a surprise. They say that TJ Edwards did not corral it before going out of bounds here.
Yes, it's second down for Minnesota.
Well, Dean, what do you think?
I'm surprised, quite frankly. To me, it looks like Edwards has control before he touches out of bounds. Obviously, they saw something that we didn't see.
All right, well, a break for Minnesota.
Yeah, break for the Vikings and a tough blow for the Bears. You guys up for a chant with me here? A little nuts and bolts, we got screwed here. Nuts and bolts, we got screwed. Nuts and bolts, we got screwed. All right, but again,
like
to
that.
Pat's point, you cannot let that be a defining moment in this game. And so,
yeah, I mean, that play right there, right? You talk about complementary football. That would set your offense up in good field position.
Yeah.
But later on in the game, you get the turnover, you get the takeaway by Tremaine Edmonds. We get good field position, and we don't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
So
give it right back.
You give it right. Yeah, you give it right back. So that's what I mean, right? When winning teams find a way to win.
Yeah.
Losing teams, they will find every possible way to lose games. And I think that when you lose and you have so much, negativity and adversity, you can't win. You just, you're mental as a player, right? You go into games thinking, can we win? Honestly,
Sure.
I mean, you're meant can we win? Or are we going to be the same thing? Is this going to be another L and another loss in the L column? And it's it's tough. It's tough to break that. It's tough to continue to go into that facility and grind and believe in what the coaches are saying, believe in the game plan when you're having the same outcome over and over again. I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, that's just what it is.
What's the biggest difference from this week from the last 2 weeks? If we being 100% out, like what did we look at the last 2 weeks and praise profusely that changed this week?
You talking play calling here, or what do you?
Well, there's that
specifically
protection. I mean, I sat there and I watched. They took 10 days off, and it looked like in those 10 days, the purpose of those 10 days was to prove that the system that they were trying to run the first 3 weeks works. Yeah. The last 2 weeks, you saw a completely different protection scheme. You saw guys being able to pick up the blitz. There was a point in this game where we tried to pick up a blitz from Daniil Hunter with Darrington Evans. Darrington Evans has been here for 6 hours. Yeah. he flew in 6 days ago. Not even, right? What are we really doing here? And I look at the protection scheme. The protection scheme did not look the same as what the Bears had run the previous 2 weeks. The way that you were allowing Justin Fields to go through and be like, okay, boom, let's make a quick decision. I really feel like they took this 10 days to say, what we did in the first 3 weeks should work. And let's use these 10 days to get back to that. And not let's take this next step and focus on what we need to do to win. Because even to that point, if you're just focusing on what we need to do to win, how we were running the football in the first quarter, in the first half, you don't stop that.
Oh, and you, of all people, probably a man who would appreciate giving Deontay Foreman plenty of carries. Now listen, I know there was a fumble which the Bears recovered. The Minnesota defender got a good helmet on the football. That was just one of those unfortunate runs. But Deontay Foreman's the type of dude who gets stronger as the game progresses. And he had plenty of nice runs where he was ripping through the line.
Yeah. 15 carries a day for 65.
Yeah, and he's a guy who, I've been high on since he's been here. He just hasn't had the opportunities because on the active list, they've had Travis Homer because Travis plays special teams. And you've had Roshan who plays special teams.
Yeah.
And then Khalil Herbert, obviously, he's just mainly a running back.
Yes.
So that's why Deontay Foreman hasn't been active. I don't think it's been a question of his ability because you see what he can do when he gets the ball. I mean, he ran possessed. He's such a physical presence when he's running downhill and gets his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. You see what he can do, right? But you would think that the game plan offensively, right? Okay, they know we got Deontay Foreman. They know he can run between the tackles. Let's set it up. Let's go play action off of that. Let's move the pocket. Let's do a lot of the things that we were doing even when Deontay Foreman was inactive. Let's do the things that we've been doing the last 2 weeks, regardless of the type of defenses we were playing. But let's build upon the successes that we had offensively within our game plan. And let's build upon those things. And you just flip the script and you went against it, which is so baffling. I think that's why so many people are so upset. Why would you not continue to play towards your quarterback's strengths? Why would you sit him in the pocket against a defensive coordinator who's going to heat it up every single chance he gets?
And not even close. The Vikings blitz by far and away the most in the NFL. Yeah. Brian Flores, I think he recognizes that the Vikings as a unit are not good enough generally to just go, mano-a-mano versus most teams. He has to bring the heat. And he understands that, and he says, you know what, that's fine. We'll try and, make sure we do that. You have to understand that, though. Let's try Peyton, who's in South Bend. What's going on, Peyton?
Peyton.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's happening, man?
Great to talk to you guys again. Yeah, I'm on my way home from that game. Went and watched some. And, to be honest with you, I was high on hopes last week. But after this, they're just a horribly coached team. They are. I'm 25 years old, boys, and I don't see the future with this team. I watched Caleb Williams in South Bend last night. Looked like absolute
Choose your words wisely. There you go.
Yep, dog crap. And what's the difference between Justin Fields with no pressure and Caleb Williams with pressure? It's just I want Eberflus to sit here and have to watch this team lose every single game for the rest of the year, and then we hire a new guy. And I just don't know. I can't sit here and with any hope left. I'm honestly hurt. You can hear in my voice. I'm just hurt.
To Peyton, and definitely hear Peyton. Appreciate the call. To Peyton's point, though, right? And because I know the calls are coming, right? The Bagent calls and the Justin Fields shouldn't get back in. All of that is coming. Draft Caleb Williams, right? I need people to understand this. There is nothing that you can put behind this offensive line and develop. This offensive line with Tyson Bagent initially, right, looked the same. And I just looked into the camera on the watch party that we were doing on the Breeze and was like, can we finally admit that, hey, to develop a quarterback, he has to have protection? Like, I know that there are guys that can overcome that, but when you have guys who have limitations, oftentimes you need guys to stand in front of them. Brock Purdy looks as good as he looks. Now, he looks good. He probably could look good, you know, in a lot of different systems in the NFL. But behind this offensive line, I don't think that he would be looking like the Brock Purdy he looks like in San Francisco.
Well, and to your point, you know, I had that game today. The Niners lose to the Browns, and the game was going on at the same time as the Bears, but I had that game up on. And Brock Purdy did not look like the guy he's looked like the first 5 weeks.
Looked very human.
He by far and away his worst game this season. And what was the difference? Well, listen, the Browns are one of the better defenses in the league. They can create pressure. They can generally do that with 4 or 5 rushers. Myles Garrett is one of the best edge rushers in the league. And so they made Brock Purdy look human.
Yeah.
Everybody who's clamoring for Caleb Williams, you saw what happens to, you know, the defending Heisman Trophy winner, you know, when last night in South Bend, when he's got guys in his lap, he makes some tough decisions because there's no quarterback who's immune from feeling comfortable in the pocket if they have pressure right in their face.
You want to know what my favorite stat of all time is? Tom Brady, with consistent pressure around his feet, has one of the worst QBRs in NFL history.
And I'd go even further than that and say that's with a majority of quarterbacks.
Yes.
Like if you
like that's the point. Yeah.
If you're heating up a quarterback, right, and you're making him have happy feet and he's patting the ball.
Absolutely.
If he's patting that ball more than twice, he's going to get hit or it's going to be a sack. And that's the thing. These defensive coordinators, they know, right? The great quarterbacks, right? You've got to get to a spot, right? And if you have, in terms of a pocket passing quarterback, you got to get to a spot. But if you have a mobile quarterback, it's a little bit harder because you know what? You got to have eyes on him.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing man, if those corners' backs are turned, then he can take off and hurt you in the running game. You know, because he has the mobility. So you've got to do what you can do to get pressure on these quarterbacks to take them out of rhythm, right? To get them uncomfortable, to hit them, right? To make them not be as effective. So I think that goes further than just Tom Brady.
Well, and to that point, it's not it should be one of those situations where in football, once the play's over, you as a coach, you're just like, all right, whatever happened, move on, new play, don't even worry about it, right? But the reality is, and we all know this, we've seen this numerous times, you've watched so much football, we all have, you hit a quarterback and you get them out of rhythm, they start to see ghosts, right?
Yes.
Or they get the happy feet, whatever it happens to be. So if you can create that sustained pressure, you know, early enough in the game, there's the carryover effect that can go on throughout the game, the entirety, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes the best game plans go awry because you've created enough pressure throughout the game to get the quarterback, you know, out of feeling comfortable. And at the same time, you've also seen plenty of quarterbacks who they get those first couple easy completions, they start to get in a rhythm, they get that confidence, and all of a sudden they're more willing to hang in there and take that big hit. And it's just it's both ways. You get in a rhythm as a quarterback, you feel good, you can do better things as an offense. And if you allow too much pressure too early, too often in the game, all of a sudden it doesn't matter what you're calling because your quarterback's, you know, running for his life. So it goes both ways. Taking your calls, 312-332-3776. I do want to play Matt Eberflus on the Cody Whitehair benching. We'll talk about that and all your calls coming up next on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Courtney Cronin checks in from Hallis Hall and beyond all week long on ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by Purple Wave Auction.
This is ESPN Chicago's Adam Abdallah.
Hi.
And this is Abdallah's stomach. The stomach knows the cure for all this rumbling and growling.
Yep, it's the spicy honey butter chicken sandwich from Fry the Coop.
Fry the Coop, now with 8 Chicagoland locations.
Try it for yourself. The new Fry the Coop in Lincoln Park is amazing.
Fry the Coop. The cure for a rumbly tummy.
Old National Bank.
I just got your home equity loan, and this feeling of joy and exhilaration overcame me.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon we call getting old.
Wow, so I'm not the only one?
No, small business owners feel it with expansion loans. Families feel it when they're setting up trusts and 529s. Nonprofits who need financing to help the community. And anyone who needs investment advice, they all feel it.
So it's not just me?
No, you're in a pretty big club.
Like a club I can join?
I really don't.
Is there at least a secret handshake?
Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National. Get old. Member FDIC.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Fall is the best time of year. So much going on in the sports world and so much going on with my guys over at Window Nation. Right now, you get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 full years. Now, I used to have old windows that were hard to open and close. They were drafty and leaky, and I called Window Nation, and they educated me on every step of the process. The best customer service. Plus, I have saved money on my energy bills, 30% year over year. I've loved Window Nation's knowledgeable exterior designers, quick, clean, accurate, professional installation. Not to mention, you'll love the savings with this fantastic offer. Put no money down, make no payments, pay no interest for 2 full years. Every 2 windows you'll buy, you'll get 2 windows free. This offer will disappear as fast as it leaves, so call today, 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com, 866-90NATION, or check them out online at windownation.com.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Keeping tabs on the Bears' next opponent, the Las Vegas Raiders. Pat was just mentioning to me, you saw an interesting note that came about. They're currently playing against the New England Patriots right now. And what happened with the Raiders?
Jimmy G has been taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Don't have an update on anything since then as of yet, but very interesting development there for the Bears' next week opponent. He looks like on the play, they just showed the play here, throws the ball away, took a nice shot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
of looks innocuous.
I don't see anything crazy, so we'll see.
Yeah, so Brian Hoyer is in the game for the Las Vegas Raiders, but yeah, you'd be very well could be a backup quarterback starting for the Raiders next week as the Bears host them at Soldier Field, and they try and end their losing streak at home. Bears lose to the Vikings today, though, 19-13, and that is what is on tap. And we've been talking about the tough game calling that we saw from Luke Getsy, tough snaps from the centers. Both Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick didn't really give the best performance. I'm not going to let Lucas Patrick off the hook either because he had a couple of bad snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Here, you guys tell me, what is DJ Khaled counting here?
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Is it Bears home losses?
And another one.
I would say
just bad snaps.
False starts
from yesterday.
Can we say false starts?
There you go.
Another one.
All right. I guess
everything's
on the table.
It's so bad. Oh man, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, like I came in here, I wanted to scream.
You did, and so
and I honestly did. When I was sitting in traffic leaving the game, I got a chance just to yell and scream in my truck on the way here. But you know, I feel for these guys. I really do. I had an opportunity to talk with TJ Edwards after the game on the field. And, you know, he's a guy who's from here. He's from Lakes High School. You know, grew up watching the Bears, has a passion. He's thrilled to be back here and thrilled to be here in a Bears uniform. He comes from an organization that does have good culture, a team that just came off a Super Bowl loss, who changed things, you know, who turned things around with their quarterback. And, you know, the thing that resonates with me from that interview, my takeaway from that, is, the passion that he had in terms of saying, we're giving it our all. I respect all these guys. I love all these guys in the locker room. We care about what the city thinks. We're going out here, we're trying to win games, we're giving it our all. We're in the building every single day, giving it our all, and they're not getting the results. It's painful. I've been in those shoes before. Lovey's first year here, we were 5-11. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And we were in there giving it our all. We're watching extra film, we're lifting extra weights, we're putting in extra work after practice. We're having extended practice. You don't get the results, and it's hard. It really is. So I feel for these guys, but at the same time, you, like you said, another one, bad snap, another one, bad snap, right? You've got to start doing things right. I mean, that's the bottom line. You got to go out there and execute. And that's the bottom line.
My favorite quote from, not to switch it all the way, but from Billy Donovan last year was, I'm so sick of hearing my bad coach. When you run to the sidelines, that's on me, coach. That's my bad coach.
You know what happens with my bad coach? You know what my bad coach gets you? You're going to start watching the game. Hope you got good penmanship because you're going to start charting plays.
Hey, listen, my bad, Cody.
Yeah, sit on the bench. You got to get on the bench, man. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. And like I said, when you're losing, right, and I'm not saying they have a losing culture because I'm not in that locker room, right? But when you're constantly losing, right, it's hard to find ways to win. And we've seen that over and over again, right? We saw that Denver, right? You come out and have success, and we found a way to lose that game, right? Winning teams find a way to win.
Sure.
Special teams may not give you anything, right? Defensively may be bad. Offense is going to pull the game out. Offense plays bad. The defense picks it up. You get a special team score, right? Winning teams find ways to win. Losing teams will find a way to lose games. And right now, that's what we're doing.
I think that's what sucks, though. This didn't feel like we found a way to lose. This felt like we were the worst team. And it didn't. Coming in, it didn't look like that, especially with Jay Jettas not. Like it didn't feel like the Bears just found a way to lose this one. It literally, like watching it, it was like, oh, you're not better than them, and the only pass rusher realistically that they have is Danielle Hunter. That's kind of concerning.
Well, I say we found a way to lose because the defense gave us short fields. It gave us
100%.
opportunities to put points on the board. How many points did you lose this game by? There you go. We got a takeaway, right? We're at midfield. We don't score, right?
Yeah.
We got screwed by the refs, right? We could have had some more good field positions, but at the same time,
should have had a first down at the goal line.
Yeah, but still,
should have had a first down. I was helmet to helmet.
Offensively, you
can't
can't capitalize. You can't capitalize, and that, like I said, you find a way to lose.
Yeah. So after another tough snap,
another one.
The question was asked to Matt Eberflus in the post game about Cody Whitehair being removed from center and then Lucas Patrick being sent out. Now, coincidentally, this happened at the same time that Justin Fields left the game with his injured thumb and Tyson Bagent came on, and Eberflus had this to say about Cody Whitehair being removed in favor of Lucas Patrick.
Yeah, so the change at center, Lucas obviously was going through concussion protocol during the week, and we thought when, obviously Justin went out and we had Tyson in there, we thought it was best for our team to have the guy that had more experience in there playing center. And that's the position that we have. That Lucas has played a long time. He's got a lot of experience in there. We thought that would settle Bagent down a little bit.
That wasn't related at all to the snap issues?
No, it was just more about settling down and putting a guy that had more experience at center.
So take that for what it's worth. That was Matt Eberflus's explanation. I'm sure it was certainly easier after the 6 or 7 questionable snaps to go to Lucas Patrick.
You want the breakdown on who has more experience at center here? Lucas Patrick in 2019, 128 snaps at center, 2020, 8, 2021, 822, 2022, 10, 2023, 290. Cody Whitehair, 2016, 1,009, 2017, 705, 2018, 1,075, 19, 561, 20, 491, 23, 87. Why are you lying to us? We're not stupid. We can look numbers up. That there's one thing that I do not accept is lying to the fan base, and that's just lying. We wanted the guy that was more experienced than what? He has a snap more than Lucas Patrick has this season. Just say he was bad. It's okay. He was bad. We saw it. If Justin, I swear to God, if he was not a baseball player, there would be so many snaps over his head. Even the snap that actually hit him in the gut, he's standing 4 feet behind or 4 yards behind Cody Whitehair. He threw it back there like he was a Josh Allen throwing a bullet to Stephon Diggs. Like, what conversation are we having here? I understand. Like, don't question the intelligence of the fan base that you have here because we can see things. We also live in the age of Google. It's not that hard to find.
Let's try Cordell, who's on the west side. Cordell, what's going on? You're on the post-game show. What's up?
What's going on, guys? Two-part question, right?
Let's do it.
Do we give credit to the Minnesota Vikings defense, even though they're bad, or are we just realizing that the Bears' offense isn't what it really is, or we wanted it to be? And heading into next year, if everybody gets fired, how do Justin adjust? If he's still there, how does he adjust to a new head coach and maybe even a new play call?
All right, so first of all, credit. How much credit do we give the Vikings defense versus the Bears offense, Jason?
I give them a lot of credit because their game plan was solid. And, they did what they did. Obviously, what they've done all year, bring pressure, right? And we didn't adjust to it. So you got to give them credit defensively. You got to blame us offensively because we knew what they were going to bring. Our protection plan in this game wasn't solid. It just didn't make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I give credit to him. I take credit away from the Bears so much for this because of how ill-prepared they were. But listen, Brian Flores, Justin Fields said it this week, and I think that's the part, again, that frustrates Bears fans. He said it with Courtney on the question she asked, right? The Vikings aren't going to change who they are.
Yeah.
This Minnesota Vikings team was the exact Minnesota Vikings team that all three of us talked about showing up in Soldier Field on Sunday.
Yeah, they won't change who they are in terms of bringing pressure, but they're going to change the way the pressure looks. Yeah. They're going to dial up from different players, different formations and stuff like that to confuse you. But they're going to bring pressure. So in your protection scheme, you got to know, hey, okay, if we're going to be, if they're bringing six, we got to have a 6-man pressure. Sometimes you even got to have a 7-man pressure. Does that mean you're getting less guys down the route? Yes, but at least we're prprotecting and giving ourselves a chance to get that pass off.
And we saw it work. That's the thing. This DB room for the Minnesota Vikings, elite? No. Okay, maybe. Like I'd lean more toward bad than okay. But we saw this with what you had in Washington. They brought the pressure. They tried to get to Justin Fields in that second half. What do? 1, 2, deliver the football. I'm in the first half like, why the heck is he doing 5-step drops? Why has he got a 6? What's happening here? Why is this play taking so long to develop? I'm not saying that Justin isn't at fault. There were a bunch of times where I was very much like Tom Thayer. Throw it. But,
again, we are all Tom Thayer.
Throw it. You know what I mean? Like I'm with you, Tom.
Throw it.
But I'm also looking at the scheme, and this felt like, again, remember those moments when Matt Nagy would go back and be like, "No, my scheme works. No, I know that it works. I've seen it work. I can do that with these guys." It feels like that's what they spent this 10 days doing. And that, to me, that's just unacceptable.
I mean, it's, we'll see what they say in the presser this week. But the one thing I'll say is it was always going to be obvious that based on what happened Thursday night against Washington, that DJ Moore was going to get absolutely more attention from Brian Flores. That's the one thing you knew. If anything was going to change, it was going to be the attention that they paid to DJ Moore, because when you go off with a game like that and you're named the NFC Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week, you've now flashing arrows on you. Hey, that guy, we cannot let him do anything close to what he did. So you knew that he was going to be bracketed more than maybe they initially would have planned for, because that's what happens. But then you need players like Darnell Mooney to step up and have bigger games. And again, this is where I have a hard time. I don't know how much to put on Getsy directly, because again, the rhythm, the lack of rhythm that they could get into, because they've kept finding themselves in second and long, third and long situations, and Justin had to deal with these bad snaps over and over again, which you mentioned ad nauseum, Jason. That it disrupts the timing, and so it's just so frustrating. I don't even know where to go anymore.
We go to the phones. That's where we go.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a quick timeout, and we will go back to the phones. I promise you, Mitchell, Steven will get you guys in. And if you want to join us, 312-332-3776. We're talking about the Bears' loss to the Vikings today at Soldier Field, right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
ESPN Chicago. Coach Matt Eberflus joins ESPN Chicago in the Waddle and Sylvie Show tomorrow at 2:10. Hear the coach only on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Transform your home with a new garage door from Ideal Door at Menards. New garage doors can provide up to a 100% return on your investment toward the value of your home. Menards has more than 1,000 style and color combinations to choose from, including a wide variety of doors in stock today. A 9x7 steel-backed insulated garage door is $499.99 after 11% rebate. Good through October 22nd. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Draft the ultimate lunch lineup starting at $7.99. Choose from a combination of half sandwiches, soups, salads, and more. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Fall is the best time of year. So much going on in the sports world and so much going on with my guys over at Window Nation. Right now, you get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 full years. Now, I used to have old windows that were hard to open and close. They were drafty and leaky, and I called Window Nation, and they educated me on every step of the process. The best customer service. Plus, I have saved money on my energy bills, 30% year over year. I've loved Window Nation's knowledgeable exterior designers, quick, clean, accurate, professional installation. Not to mention, you'll love the savings with this fantastic offer. Put no money down, make no payments, pay no interest for 2 full years. Every 2 windows you'll buy, you'll get 2 windows free. This offer will disappear as fast as it leaves, so call today, 866-90NATION, or visit windownation.com, 866-90NATION, or check them out online at windownation.com.
What's up, everyone? It's Zetterman. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Only a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders, first touchdown scores, same game parlays, and more. Most importantly, when you win on FanDuel, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Zetterman, that's Z as in zebra, EDERMAN, and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Carmen and Jurko. The next Friday football feast is at Buffalo Wild Wings in Berwyn. It's Friday, October 27th, and it's brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller Lite, and Alta Equipment. Please feast responsibly.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Trying to sort out the Bears' offensive line in the break here. What are the options? Because Cody Whitehair struggled snapping the ball today multiple times. They took him out, whether it was because they wanted Tyson Bagent to be a little more comfortable with Lucas Patrick snapping him the ball, if you believe what Matt Eberflus was saying, or if it was just because there were just too many bad snaps.
Another one.
That they had to take him off the field and go to Lucas Patrick. Either way, we're asking the question, who's going to be the starting center next week for the Bears? Because, of course, with Tevin Jenkins at left guard, when he's healthy, you're happy with him there. I know Nate Davis left the game today. I didn't see the...
There's an ankle that they say it's an ankle, so
okay.
I don't know how bad it is. He got carted off.
Yeah. It's hockey season, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I know. Lower body. Lower body.
Lower extremity. Lower extremity.
So we'll have to see what the Bears' plan is on the offensive line. That certainly is not going to help the situation. And clearly, even bigger, of course, is Justin Fields and what his status will be next week against the Raiders. We already mentioned, Pat brought it up, how Jimmy Garoppolo was brought to the hospital earlier today in the Raiders game. They're still playing the Patriots right now. That game's 19-17. Vegas is on top right now. That game's critical, of course, for draft position as well, because the Patriots have struggled all year long. They only have 1 win. If they could get an odd win against Vegas today, that would certainly put the Bears draft spot in good position. But, of course, none of this matters because right now they're picking 1-2. So they need to get themselves some wins. Will Justin Fields be available for the next week's game against the Raiders? We'll find out later in the week, I'm sure. But, of course, he's going to have to undergo an MRI tomorrow regards to the ligaments in the thumb because the x-rays were negative today. But, I mean, so good news there, no broken thumb. But, of course, ligaments can be an issue as well. So we'll have to see what his status will be like, and that will be critical. What'd you think of the little bit that we saw from Tyson Bagent, Jason Mack? You were on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think his poise is there, something that we've seen, the entire offseason. That's why he's here. He throws the ball with anticipation. As you see, he will take shots down the field. It's just a situation where, the protection was bad. The snaps were bad. So I think that hindered some of the drives and series he was in on because he was the recipient of a lot of those bad snaps.
Yes.
But he does got talent, and he does have potential. He does have things that I like, that I see that can make him successful as a quarterback in this league. So I definitely want to see more of him. Obviously, Justin's a starter. But, just from a standpoint of being an evaluator and just trying to see what we have, I definitely want to see more of Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, he's certainly going to. It looks like he very well could get an opportunity next week. Like I said, we'll see what the MRI situation is. Even if, I don't know, it's one of those things where as a quarterback, even if Justin Fields wants to tough it out and get out there, thumb is something that's not about toughness a lot of times for a quarterback because if you can't grip the football, you're oftentimes not helpful to the team.
Well, I think that's what scares most of us the most, right? Is we know who Justin Fields is. I've watched Justin Fields play a game with literally, 3 fractured ribs where he was like, every time somebody touched me, I couldn't breathe, but I still went out there because that's what I do. I play football. If Justin Fields is not going out on the field, something is seriously wrong in my mind because I think he's just that kind of player. You're going to have to take my right arm off for me to not go out there. So I hope that everything's okay. I hope that it doesn't end up being something serious. But as far as Bagent, listen, you came in the worst situation. You have no idea who's going to be the best case scenario at center. Your offensive line just lost its starting right tackle. Well, had just lost it at that point, but has lost its starting right tackle. You can tell who he throws to at practice. I will say that because Tyler Scott got the most looks that I think we've seen Tyler Scott get all season. He looked poised. He went out there and he gave you a shot. You know what I mean? And driving down the field, I think you got a good coaching moment out of it. Maybe know your arm strength a little bit because he even owned up to it. He was like, listen, we could talk about protection. We can talk about, I underthrew it.
Yeah.
I underthrew it by a lot.
You bring it up here. Let's play it for the folks.
Yeah, kind of just like what you said. DJ Moore, one of the best receivers in the world, one-on-one, anytime, we can get that, we like it. Underthrew it there a little bit. And, that's on me, and that's something that, I got to fix going forward.
Is that a result of depression?
No, I think that's just a result of me, underthrowing the ball. Got to give my guy a chance. And, note that, watch the film, and correct it for next week.
Yeah, that's one to me you try to put through the back of the end zone if you can. You know what I mean? Because it was DJ Moore finally got that opportunity, deep shot. Yeah, I mean, and you had a chance with that. I'm not mad at the young kid for taking that shot down the left side of the field. I like that.
Now, game situation, let me ask you this, J-Mac, because here's the thing. In that moment, the Bears are now trailing by 6 points, but they had the ball 1st and 10 at Minnesota's 35-yard line. So it's setting up. I know a lot of people are questioning, okay, you've got the rookie, but he had just put you in position where they scored a touchdown the previous drive. And so, I think there was a little bit of confidence in the stadium. People were like, hey, we got something here. Yeah. And so in that situation, in that moment, though, I'll ask you, there was 2:05 when the ball was snapped. They were approaching the 2-minute warning. They had a full complement of timeouts at that moment. What was your thought, if you can remember, in the moment did you like the fact that they were taking the shot before the 2-minute warning, or do you think listen, in retrospect, of course, he throws an interception, but would they have been better served potentially just taking it down to the 2-minute warning because you have a rookie quarterback playing his first regular season game?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in that moment.
The clock was ticking.
Yeah.
It was their call because it wasn't rushed. It wasn't like under the gun where he had to. It wasn't 2:01. It was 2:05. They were calm and collected at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But again, you can ask the question. Okay, you could have just taken it. It's again 1st and 10. You could have taken it to the 2-minute warning with again 3 full timeouts. Time was not going to be an issue for the Bears if they were going to score a touchdown there.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where you see him complete some big plays. You saw him hit DJ over the middle, and DJ took that shot and got back up. And you say, you know what, our quarterback's in rhythm.
Yes.
Let's not stop the rhythm that he's in. Let's keep the pressure on this Vikings defense, and let's take a shot.
Yeah.
And like he said, he liked the matchup. Obviously, you know what DJ Moore can give you. DJ Moore only had one target in the first half, so they tried to target him more in the second half. And the way they're playing you, it gave you that opportunity to go to him and give him a 50-50 ball. But like Bagent said, and it was great because I interviewed him after the game too, and I asked him the same thing: what happened on the interception? He owned up to it.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, I underthrew it, and that's it." And you give him a chance to make a play. Give your young quarterback a chance to get the ball in your best player's hands, and that's what he did. And this time it didn't work.
It's the best play call we saw today. If we get 100%, now DJ Moore was wide open.
Yeah, he's open.
And to that point, he could have said, "Hey, man, I had a guy in my face," but he didn't. Look at him, and that's all you want from the guy who's going to be the quarterback of your team. At least in that moment, and we'll see what the situation with Justin Fields. We'll get more information tomorrow and as the week progresses. Once they do the MRI. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Jason McKee and Pat the designer. We're taking your calls. We're here till 7 o'clock. 312-332-3776 on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Abdallah, is that your stomach?
I think so. It's been making weird noises all day.
Of course it's your stomach, Adam. Take a hint. I'm starving. Do me a favor, get off your ass, satisfy your hunger, and go get the best damn chicken sandwich you've ever had.
Yeah, perfect idea. I'm off to Fry the Coop. The juicy chicken with the perfect amount of heat and those beef fat fries. Oh, baby.
Man, your stomach has more attitude than you after a Bama loss.
I heard that.
Fry the Coop. 8 Chicagoland locations for your cranky tummy.
Hey, it's your buddy Tom Waddle, and I want to let you know at Great Clips, they know you live a full life, which is why they're full of ways to make getting a great haircut easier. With online check-in, Great Clips works on your schedule. And with new features, you can see where you are in line, get a Ready Next text alert so you know when to go to the salon, and a haircut reminder feature that lets you know when you're overdue. With Clip Notes, they save your haircut details so you can get the look you love from the skilled stylist each and every time. It's nice to be on the same page when it comes to your haircut. Look, I know they use a number 4 clipper on me, but I'm not sure if that's on the sides or the top or even what a number 4 means. But with Clip Notes, it's all there, so I have nothing to worry about. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, Great Clips is. And when you choose Great Clips, it's going to be great. Download their app today. Also now, if you're interested, join a salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com.
Here comes on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. More Bears postgame is coming up. WMVP, WSHE HD2, Chicago.
Bears fall to the Vikings today, 19-13 at Soldier Field. Another loss inside the NFC North. That is 11 in a row for the Bears. They fall to 1-5. The only bright spot that I can find right now is the fact that they currently would have the first and second overall pick in the draft because the Carolina Panthers lose again today, so they have yet to win the game. They're 0-6 on the season. They lose to the Dolphins 42-21 after jumping out to a 14-0 lead. So there's a little bit of optimism for you, but more bad news as well. If you missed it, Justin Fields had to leave the game with a thumb injury. X-rays were negative. He will have an MRI tomorrow so that they can find out if there's any ligament damage. But that, of course, he had to leave the game, did not return. Tyson Bagent made his first appearance in an NFL regular season game and looked okay. He did fumble the ball when there was some pressure early in one of his first drives, and then of course he threw the game-ending interception, which allowed the Vikings to run out the clock after that. And so the Bears fall to 1-5 now, and the Lions currently are on top of the Buccaneers in the fourth quarter, 20-6. So the Lions right now poised to move to 5-1 on the season, which would put the Bears 4 games back in the NFC North and making things all that much more difficult to wrap your head around salvaging this season, which is going to be something that this coaching staff is really going to have to work hard on now because they're, doesn't matter how much Ryan Poles likes Matt Eberflus, you're going to be on the hot seat now if you continue to accumulate losses and, without knowing the status of your starting quarterback, Justin Fields, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Bears here going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you with kind of what we've seen through 2 weeks, seeing them come back this way. It's so deflating because, unfortunately, we've seen this. This isn't an anomaly. Mm-hmm. And this is to me the result of a lot of people who are like, this is the coaching, this is the scheme. It's got to be something that's consistent there because the team didn't look all that much different when Bagent came in, for those who were calling for Bagent, as it did with Fields in there. The team didn't look all that much different, or wouldn't look all that much different with whoever the next quarterback is versus with Fields in there. There's a theme here with what we're seeing with this team. And the hope for Bears fans at this point is that Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles see that theme, because protection to me is the biggest thing that has stood out with this team. And when that scheme disappeared today, so did the success of the offense.
Any other thoughts from the sidelines that we haven't gotten to yet, J-Mac?
No, it just goes back to the same thing I've been saying the entire show. It's, we're talking about scheme. It's everything. It's scheme. Yeah. It's coaching. It's, situational football, complementary football, all the coach speak that you want, details. It's all of those things in a nutshell that we're not doing. That's, the results are going to be what they are. And if we continue to do those things, we're going to keep seeing this every single week. I hate to say it, but that's football reality.
Speaking of the scheme, Kai, not too impressed with Luke Getsy's scheme. Kai, you're on the post-game show with Meller, J-Mac, and Pat, the designer. What's going on?
Kai was good.
Hey, guys. First of all, I want to give a shout-out to Dick Buckus, R.I.P., great Bear, sending love to his family and such. And then also been a big-time listener to Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer. They're my guys ever since I was 6 years old up north. I'm not impressed with it. And I don't know. You talked about the coaching, and it's tough because last week you saw Justin Fields hit that one-step drop, in like less than 2 seconds, got the ball out to DJ Moore, and it was wonderful to see. And now after that early first hit sack, Justin Fields backed up 3, 4, 5 drop, and it was slow, and it seemed like our wide receivers didn't get open, and we're just regressing back to that scheme that we always saw last year. So it's disappointing, but like I said, always going to be a Bears fan. R.I.P. Dick Buckus. Love the show, guys.
Thanks, Kai. Appreciate it, man. Yes, rest in peace to the legend, number 51. Probably the greatest number 51 of all time, Dick Buckus. They obviously honored him today at Soldier Field.
Any sport or just football we talking
I think is there a better 51 in the history of sports?
A good question.
I think if I think he's top 2 or 3. There's not too many
for sure. He's in the top.
There's not too many number 51s that come to mind before Butkus. In terms of all-time greats, we can do a little Google search and run through that, but I don't want to take us too far off topic as we're talking about the Bears lost today.
He's the best in the NFL for sure.
I feel pretty comfortable saying the best number 51 of all time, unless I'm completely blanking on somebody, but I feel pretty good about that statement. And hey, I'll play to the local fans. Go ahead. Yeah, challenge me.
I'm just trying to see.
Give me a better number 51.
Here's the tough part. Now I'm Googling the names, and I'm
he can't. He's on here on this search engine.
I really am. Now I'm Googling through different sports 51s. I'm like, this is gross.
I get Randy Johnson. There's
Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro's fine, but Dick Buckus is football, man.
Butkus is better for sure. You might be right.
Randy Johnson, fine. We can have a conversation about that, but I think we're You know what? I'm gonna kowtow to the hometown fans and say I'm gonna side with Butkus. You can roll with Ichiro if you want.
See
what
I'm wearing. I'm
here. I'm here with Dick Buckus.
If you're watching on Twitch, J-Mac's got the 51 pin.
I'm riding
for Dick Buckus. So yes.
When you start Googling best 51s in hockey, you won. You know what I mean? That's when you that's when you know who the best 51 of all time is.
Let's try DJ, who's on the Northwest side. DJ, what's going on? You're on the post-game show.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
What's happening?
I love the show.
Thanks.
What's going on? Hey, I had a question and just kind of a comment as well. First comment is I think we got to move on from Justin. He's not yes, he's taking the long drops and he's holding the ball, but he's also just missing wide open receivers, not seeing them. Yep. And is in a third year, I don't think you can have a quarterback who's still making rookie mistakes. I can't remember exactly what in the game, but DJ Moore was wide open, arm waving in the air, and he throws it, to the other side, misses it entirely.
Wow.
And then also watching Notre Dame USC on Saturday night and Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
What are we thinking? I know we're talking a lot about, we still got 1 and 2 in the draft, Now, I'm not saying we're going to move on from one bad performance, but as he come down to earth? Personally, this is my question to you guys, and is he still thinking, I'm not going to Chicago because that's a quarterback killer organization?
So I will say, DJ, that's a rumor that was floating around that there's 5 teams that Caleb Williams wants to play for. Chicago is not on that list. That has not been confirmed, though, by Caleb Williams or anybody in his camp. So, I'm not overly concerned about that.
It's such a different world, ain't it? Where you can just be like, you know what? I'm making enough money in college.
But here's the problem, right? like whatever you're making in college, that's fine. And he has the option to go back, but there's no guarantee that next year whoever would end up with the first overall pick would be a better situation, right?
Yeah.
And so the only question is he willing to, play the role of Eli Manning and force, like Eli Manning, if for those who don't remember, the San Diego Chargers were in line to select, Eli Manning. And the Mannings pulled a power play and said, listen, he's not going to play for your franchise. They forced a trade with the New York Giants. And then famously, the San Diego Chargers, they were San Diego back then, selected Phillip Rivers. But so that would have to be the move for Caleb Williams. Is not. I mean, listen, you could go back to college, but for a quarterback, I think like the true pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is getting to that second NFL contract, right? So whatever he's making for USC with NIL, name, image, likeness dollars, like I haven't seen any reports recently that I can verify, but what do you think? Max, what's he making? $5-8 million?
I think they reported it, right? Wasn't it like $5 million?
So that's what I'm saying.
$5
Like,
million a year?
so listen, nobody's gonna feel sorry for him. That's great money, but the reality is, the generational wealth that you're seeking as a quarterback playing, football, it's that second contract, right? J-Mac, it's getting past the rookie deal, and it's so that's fine. You can do that. You can try and say, I'm not going to Chicago. That's if that's it's his prerogative to try and steer his way to wherever he wants to go. But the hard part is getting to the actual location you want to get to. Now, I don't know if you can guarantee that, right? That's the hard part.
Well,
because you don't know who ends up with the first pick the next year.
I was gonna say, is there a way for him to go he just doesn't declare for the draft and says I want to just join an NFL team at a certain point?
He can go, no, he'd have to go back to USC or enter the draft.
Does he Bo Nix this thing? Does he write it at 5 years at $6 million a year?
I mean, listen, you can.
Bo Nix is 24 years old.
You stay in school, right? What's the alternative? You stay in school, you don't play at all. You stay in school, you risk the chance of getting injured.
Listen, good luck to you. If you take a full year off.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying let's look what happened to Deshaun Watson taking a full year off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Then
it almost
the evaluation, you're going to hurt yourself in terms of your evaluation there.
Yeah.
But then you stay in school, you risk the chance of getting hurt.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, right? Do they fold under pressures? No. They excel under pressure, right? And it's not just because of their skill set as a quarterback. It's because they have the things around them to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line protects.
Yes.
Their offensive coordinators calling route concepts for them to get the ball out quick. The receivers know, right, if there is pressure and they have to break off their route right early because they're bringing pressure, well, then they know to make that side adjustment to break off their route because they know that ball's coming out fast.
Yep.
So and the quarterback he can see it, so he can execute those things. So. It comes. It's not just the quarterback. It's the operation as a whole. It's the coaching staff, the offensive coordinators, the linemen. Everybody working on the same page to make one play successful or to beat that one particular blitz or pressure.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity to bring in world famous caller here on ESP 1000. Mitchell in Des Plaines is not the biggest Justin Fields fan. He thinks the Bears should move on. He has been steadfast about this for a while now. Mitchell, what's going on? You're on the post game show.
Hey there, Team Capricorn. Great setup on that narrative. You're 100% correct. we're at the point right now, folks. This is the law of diminishing returns with Justin Fields. And the fact is that you're basically putting in all this investment in a stock that's tanking. And look, you can't pass for 65 yards against a divisional opponent and expect to win before the injury. Number two, the Bears knew that this defensive coordinator was going to blitz the hell out of them. It's like giving your students all the answers to the questions to the test, and they still fail. Okay, I'm 54. I've seen Gary Huff. This is the worst quarterback play since Steve Centrum. And the reality is this: the Bears, the organization from top to bottom, has the problems. We all know that. That is a red herring. That's always going to be the problem until they sell the team. Number two, you don't have a quarterback in a passing league. Now, you're 1-5, you're last in the division, you're lowest last in the conference 2 years in a row, and you tell me that this is something that's going to just change on a dime? Celebrate your last 3 games with the worst defense in the world. A week later, today, you became what I call the reality of the situation. Take the emotions out of it, Daddy-O. Take out all the things that you think that I'm all about being negative. No, this is about X's and O's, fundamentals, and the quarterback, the most important position on the team. They went from Aaron Rodgers, I'm talking about Kool-Aid Luke, to the worst quarterback in the history of the game. And I'll tell you something, Capricorn.
Okay, Mitchell.
It's a fucking fly.
Okay, Mitchell. Thank you. That's plenty for today. We have.
You know what I love about Mitchell?
He's passionate.
Listen,
Yes, oh, yeah.
one, he's passionate, but two, if you take the side of the Bears can't develop a quarterback, you've only been right for like 100-something years, so it's not a bad. I mean, he's on the right side of history, I guess. Follow him down that path.
Well, it goes back to the point, right? I've talked about this over and over again. You want to develop a quarterback, right? But you have to bring in people who have developed a quarterback before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, it's just common sense. If I'm
doing the dude that was standing next to him,
home repair, right? And I need you to remodel this bathroom. All right, this is how I want it. I want it to be the best bathroom that it can be. Have you ever done this before? No. We ain't gonna hire that guy. We ain't gonna hire that guy.
No, but I worked with the guy who's the best who's ever done it.
No, it's not even worked with. It's just I stood next to him.
You know what I'm saying? If you've never done it, then I don't understand. Like, and that's no shot at anybody. That's the reality.
Yeah. No, listen, we're watching a guy, and this is where you get down to it. I completely agree with that. I reject the notion that the Bears as an organization will never have a great quarterback. I reject that notion. If I accepted that, why would I continue to cheer for this team?
Defense and running.
If I believe that, right? I reject that notion out of hand. Are the people currently in charge of developing quarterbacks capable of that? I don't know. Yeah. And I think we're quickly finding out, though, that if they don't get their act together fast and turn things around, they won't have a chance to do it for the next guy. We're watching a guy right now who is in charge of the offense for the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, who's going to be one of the most highly sought-after offensive coordinators to be a head coach next season. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. The trajectory that they're trending upward, it looks good. Jared Goff had a great year last year. He was revitalized. And honestly, Sean McVay turned his back on Jared Goff. Yeah. And Ben Johnson has salvaged his career, right? Yeah. So that's a guy you're going to have to look at. I agree with J-Mac. If you want a beautiful, brand new, renovated bathroom, you need somebody who knows how to do it. Ben Johnson would be, an interesting guy, or start looking around the league and finding guys who have actually developed quarterbacks. I think that's a fair request if this coaching staff can't get their act together.
Well, it's also about how Ben Johnson went about it. Hey, how do we make Jared Goff better? We let people not hit him as much as possible. Yeah. We're going to build an offensive line in front of him. I'm going to be honest with you. If it's hard to say if you're Ryan Poles what you're going to end up doing if it does come to the point where at the end of the season we're looking at Caleb Williams and he's there. But what are you bringing Caleb Williams here to do? Stand behind the same offensive line?
Here's the thing, though. They've invested with Darnell Wright, Tevin Jenkins, at least when he's healthy and on the field. I trust Tevin Jenkins to be a solid guard for you. Nate Davis, when he's been on the field, has been pretty solid. You know what I mean? And Tom Thayer has spoken about this. I think anybody, J-Mac, you can attest to this. The offensive line, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, always, right? Like, you have a weak link on the offensive line, and oftentimes that's going to make the entire line look bad.
Yeah.
I feel like they're 3/5 of the way there. You know what I mean? So you add 2 more critical pieces, and what I don't know yet on Braxton Jones. I still have to. It's still to be determined for me on him. He was a nice find in the 5th round last year. He played every snap. That was great, but he's got an injury, so he's not going to play. At least for a while. We'll see if he actually gets back out on the field at all this year. So I don't know. There's still two glaring holes, and we've spoken this whole show about the center spot. All right. 312. We got to take a quick timeout. 312-332-3776. Pat's chomping at the bit. He wants to respond to that. So we got plenty more to go. Bears lose to the Vikings today. We're taking all your calls till 7 o'clock on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago. Former Bear Lance Briggs is live in studio with Cap and J Hood tomorrow morning at 9:30 on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
For more than 100 years, Kidde has been a leader in home safety, helping you protect what matters most. October is Fire Safety Month. From smoke and carbon monoxide alarms to fire extinguishers and more, Kidde home safety products keep your family protected in case of emergencies. Get a 10-year, worry-free battery-powered smoke alarm for $19.97 after 11% off. Good through October 22nd, savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on all of the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options that include spreads, hundreds of player props, over-unders, and so much more. Don't forget about those same-game parlays available for most NFL games as well. So visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA, and kick off the NFL season with America's #1 sportsbook and my #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The game is on the line. You need your best play. What's it gonna be? Do you make the call for welding or HVAC? Do it now and you could complete your education at ETI School of Skilled Trades in as little as 7 months. We offer day and evening classes to fit your schedule, and financial aid is available if you qualify. Visit eticampus.edu or call 888-830-7678 to learn more. ETI, it's your future. Own it.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
O'Reilly.
Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10, plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Acura brings you a new action-packed summer feature starring the turbocharged TLX with a VTEC engine. The Acura Summer of Performance event going on now. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Advantage Acura.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Hanging out with you till 7 o'clock tonight. Bears lose to the Vikings 19-13 at Soldier Field. They have lost 11 straight in the NFC North Division, and they have also now failed to win at Soldier Field in over a year. You said 386, right, Pat? That was the
386 days
and
since
counting.
the last Chicago Bears home win.
They'll get another crack at it next week as they host the Las Vegas Raiders, who have beaten the Patriots 21-17. Pat mentioned earlier, though, Jimmy Garoppolo went to the hospital with a back injury, so we shall see. They may be going with Brian Hoyer next week against the Bears, but the Raiders hang on to beat the New England Patriots today 21-17 at home. Elsewhere around the league, Lions just wrapped up their victory over the Buccaneers. They moved to 5-1 on the season. They beat the Bucs 20-6 on the road. Another good game for Jared Goff. He goes for 353 and a couple of touchdowns. The Jets are trying to do their best to upset the Eagles, who are 5-0 right now, but the Eagles are on top 14-12 with the ball in the fourth quarter. Elsewhere around the National Football League, for the Sunday night game, Bills hosting the Giants, Saquon Barkley is going to be active. He will return to the lineup after missing 3 straight games with an ankle injury. So for all the fantasy players out there who were anxiously awaiting, Saquon is back for the Giants, but everybody else is hurt on their offensive line, and Daniel Jones is out as well. So that one is your nighttime affair. All right, we'll roll on with the calls as the Bears lose to the Vikings. Let's try Greg, who's in Warrenville. We knew we'd get one of these. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
What's happening?
Doing good, Greg.
You know, not a lot. You know, Justin Fields, I've been rooting like crazy for him, but, you know, it just doesn't seem like he has the ability to read a defense. The point I have is Tyson Bagent. Name me a successful quarterback that has ever come out, walked on, and gone 17 plays, 92 yards, and scored a touchdown as a walk-on. The man can read a defense. He can go through his progressions. You give him an offensive line, I really believe you got another Brock Purdy. So I really think we already have a quarterback if he's given the proper opportunity.
I think you just named the one there. Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Well, the thing is, Greg, he again, negative X-rays were negative, but there's an MRI, and it's his thumb that he's dealing with, he being Justin Fields. So there's a very decent chance, I think, that Tyson Bagent will have an opportunity next week or maybe for the next couple weeks to prove what he's capable of. Yeah. Listen, Justin Fields, when given time, when given a good game plan, we just saw it against Washington. Remember, everyone was going into that game. It was a short week on the road against a defense that a lot of people in this league have been very complimentary of.
They weren't a bad defense until we beat them.
Right? Like, seriously.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember they were a good defense, elite front four.
One of the best defensive lines in the league. And what did Justin Fields do? He carved them up, right?
Yeah, and our line protected.
Yeah.
It was, our line,
Listen, that first half, that second touchdown to DJ Moore, I said it, that was Patrick Mahomes-like.
Yeah.
He held the safety with his eyes, and then he showed you the arm talent that he has, that he's capable of, that very, very few quarterbacks in the league are capable of. So there's lots of good stuff inside Justin Fields. Will the Bears ever realize it? That potential? That is the question. I think we basically have till the end of the year before they make their decision.
Yeah, that's the tough part for me, because the scariest thing about all of this is I think that Justin Fields is talented. I think that if Justin Fields is behind an offensive line that looks like the semblance of a line that will protect you week in and week out, you'll see that. And I think for 2 weeks, you did see that, because that was the best 2 weeks of offensive line protection. And I also think that to me, the scheme, and maybe I'm wrong here, didn't the scheme seem like the passes that he was looking to make had deeper routes all of a sudden back in, and we weren't seeing a lot of those short routes. Weren't seeing a lot of those against the Washington Commanders. The longest it took him to get the football out was 2.7 seconds. Yeah. Today, he's back in 4 or 5 seconds. I'm seeing 5-6 step dropbacks. I'm like, where'd this come from?
Yeah, and it goes back to the processing, right? When he's taking deeper drops, he's got to process things more, right?
Yep.
The routes it takes more time for the routes to develop. But when you can get the ball out quick, 3-step drop, he's in rhythm. He knows who he's going to. He can be more effective, right? And then once you get those defensive backs cheating up, trying to defend them shorter routes, what happened? He goes over the top, like we saw in the Commanders game. So that's where he's had his success.
Yeah.
And we're so puzzled today because we saw that taken away from him. When you roll him out, you give him a half field to read.
Yep.
He completes the ball. You get him in rhythm. You get his confidence up, right? You don't get him hit early. You throw some screens. I know everybody's mad about the screens, but you throw some screens in there. You have success on those as well, on top of him getting in rhythm, getting the ball out quick. Like, that's the game plan, right? That's Justin Fields' game. That's where he's shown the most progress and the most development, but why would you take that away?
And it's maddening, too, like the little things, right? Tyler Scott has an opportunity to make a play on a screen. He drops the ball, right? Like it's like those are hard to quantify because, you know, whether that's a short gainer or something that you break open, we don't know because you drop the ball. And like those are supposed to be the layups. The receivers have to make those plays. And Tyler Scott, you're getting an opportunity here because of some of the injuries, because, you know, Equanimous St. Brown, you get an opportunity to get out there on the field. You know, that it sucks. That's an opportunity lost by you.
I think that was something that was felt today too, that most people probably won't look at and really talk about is EQ St. Brown not being there.
Especially
all those
on
lanes,
the screens, on the wide receiver screens.
All those lanes that were opened up over the last 2 weeks. I kept telling y'all, right? Everybody was like, oh, you just, you know, you don't want your best receiver's talent or your receiver's best talent to be blocking. Well, I tell you what, when he wasn't out there, there was nobody else that could do it at a high level like he can. At one point in the game, I literally thought, what's N'Keal Harris doing? Wasn't he number 2 behind Equanimous St. Brown as far as blocking wide receivers? What's he doing this weekend? We brought back Darrington Evans, might as well, right? Like, go block, dog. Go block.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought. Let's talk about the running game more. I mean, the running game was good. I thought Deontay Foreman made the most of his opportunities. He talked about this week of having receipts in terms of the negativity and the criticism that he received. You know, he took advantage of those receipts. You know, he got an opportunity. He made the most of it. He had some good runs. Yes, he had the fumble. That was a tough call. But at the same time, he rebounded from that, made some good runs, timely runs when we needed him to convert to keep the chains moving. So you know, I think that's something to build upon. Darrington Evans as well. You know, he had a good game coming back after being with, you know, Miami's practice squad. And he's a guy who came in on short notice and came in and did some things as well. But, you know, having a successful running game is a quarterback's best friend, right? Because now it just takes the pressure off of, as a quarterback, you having to make all those plays in the pocket or whatever, make all those plays in the passing game. You rely on an adequate running game to take that pressure off of you, but you have to be able to build upon that.
Let me ask you this, because you being in the situation where you've been on teams where injuries have mounted up and different things like that, is the fact that we lost so many running backs last week, did that change how much they wanted to go to Deontay Foreman this week, you think? Because if he goes down, we're at Darrington Evans, who hasn't been here in a year, doesn't know the system, and Kari Blasingame, and Kari ended up getting, you know, a little dinged up there for a little while. Saw them taping his ankle as well. Does that change how you call your offense, I guess I would say, in that situation? Because if we lose you, it's over. So we have to be kind of sparing. Because I thought Deontay Foreman was killing them running the football. And then all of a sudden we went to 2 straight screen passes.
And that's what's puzzling, right? When you have success of doing one thing, right? You have success in a running game, they're not stopping you, right? You know you're struggling in pass protection. Why not keep calling the runs, right? Give your offensive line an opportunity to come off on those defensive linemen instead of having them sit back and having the pass protect. Give them an opportunity to get physical and come off the ball and keep pounding that ball. And then that's going to set up, you know, a deep shot or an explosive play in the passing game. So that's something that, you know, it's confusing. When you have success, you go away from, you go and try to throw a screen, you don't have success with it. Now you're behind the chains. Like, it's a pattern that we've seen repeatedly this year.
And scheme up one play that Justin Fields can, like, that's a QB sneak that works. I don't think we've seen one good one this year. It's just like, to the left, loss of 7. All right, now go pass it.
Yeah, well, they did the Philly push in the Commanders game. They had a couple of.
I guess that is technically a QB sneak. I give you that one. I'm talking about those ones where he's getting to the edge. I haven't seen. I'm like, all right, Justin Fields, one of the fastest player in the league. Oh, he is 6 yards in the backfield. What's going on there?
Pat the designer, Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller. I went around the NFL. I failed to mention the fact that the 49ers lost to the Cleveland Browns on a missed field goal, a chance to go ahead and win that one. They lose and they fall to 5-1. And right now the Eagles have just fallen behind to the New York Jets with a minute 46 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Jets have taken a 20-14 lead with a Breece Hall touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And so now Jalen Hurts will get the ball back and try and rally the Eagles and keep them as the only remaining undefeated team in the National Football League. So if the Jets can hang on, the Miami Dolphins will be popping champagne tonight as the last NFL team who is undefeated tries to mount a comeback against the Jets in New York. 312-332-3776, talking about a Vikings victory over the Bears today. Unfortunately, taking your calls. Bear fan Bob Steven will get you in here before we wrap things up at 7 o'clock right here on ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Bears. Courtney Cronin checks in from Hallis Hall and beyond all week long on ESPN Chicago. Brought to you by Purple Wave Auction.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
We really lucked out, getting all the internet we need for one all-in price.
All in?
It's like this kids meal. Comes with nuggets, fries, soda, a toy, and an ice cream.
Can I have some?
I'm here to provide wisdom, not free meals.
Introducing an all-new internet plan only from Xfinity. Now through October 30th, get gig speed internet on the Xfinity 10G network. Plus storm-ready Wi-Fi, so you can stay connected for up to 4 hours when the power goes out. And our Wi-Fi boost guarantee. It's everything you need for one simple price of $50 a month for 2 years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Storm-ready Wi-Fi limited to customers within range of 4G LTE cellular signal. Speeds reduced to 30/7 megabits per second. Actual speeds vary. For more details, visit xfinity.com/stormready.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
There was a moment in the Bears game that probably made me more upset than any other moment in the game, and it didn't even matter. And I'm going to say it, and you guys are both going to agree with me, I think, but it may have slipped your minds.
Oh, man.
In the first quarter, before the Bears' second drive, after the Vikings kicked the field goal, you may recall there was a moment on the kickoff when Velus Jones,
oh my God,
picks the ball up after it bounced. And remember now, there's the new fair catch rule. So if you fair catch the ball, you're getting the ball at the 25, folks.
Yes.
Velus Jones allows the ball to bounce, and he is so fortunate that it actually bounced over the line in the end zone so that it was a touchback, because otherwise I don't know what the man is doing. I mean, he can't seem to figure it out on offense, even though he had one nice run today. But come on, J-Mac.
Yeah.
Enough with the Velus Jones experiments.
Yeah, and I was standing right there, and it was so delayed too. Like it was so. Like what are you doing?
The one time the refs bailed us out today.
They had to get one back.
But it's like, man, you're the kick returner. The one thing you have to know is the basic rules of kick returning protocol.
Well, and I think, J-Mac will be able to speak to this very well. There are a lot of guys who are very, very talented people who just don't have the mental aspect to be able to play in the NFL. I think Velus Jones is talented, right? Like, when you see him, he's a physical specimen. When the ball's in his hand, he can make anything happen. On that run play, you saw that.
When you get some space, you see what he's capable of.
Yeah, he had some. We had a good return that got called back.
He did as well.
I mean, it's just like we've been saying, it's when he has the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean that's the reality.
Yeah.
When he has the ball in his hands, he good things happen. Now it's a matter of the decision making, holding on to the ball. All those things has been the dark cloud over his career since he's been here.
What I will say is this is probably going to be his best chance to showcase something over the next couple of weeks. EQ on IR, right? Khalil Herbert on IR. There's going to be an opportunity for you to be a part of this offense. Hopefully Justin Fields is able to play, but like you said, with a thumb injury, right, a lot of times that's going to
I'll tell you,
he's probably
I'll tell
not
you right
going to
now,
play
I'm
next
skeptical,
week.
Like, yeah,
I'm very skeptical that he's going to be able to play if he couldn't grip the football this week. And, it'd be.
It's going to take it like,
That'd be some Aaron Rodgers level recovery right there. I'd be impressed by it.
And I'll be honest, even if he is capable of starting on Sunday, I'm going to be watching the very first few snaps, holding my breath. Like what can you really grip this football here?
But you saw with Tyler Scott, right? He got his targets from the guy that he's been working with in practice. I would assume that Velus is on second team offense out there, and he's getting targets from Tyson Bagent.
And we don't want to jump to any conclusions, but let's just say that Tyson is the quarterback this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the game plan going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you give him the same menu that you've given Justin?
Yeah.
Or do you scale it back a little bit? And sometimes when you scale it back, you be more effective.
Sure.
Right? Because now it's like, the whole team. We don't have to worry about all these shifts and motions, and we've got, a few protections here that we can execute. Right. We can execute all the details. We know what we're doing, so you may actually play faster.
Yeah.
You may have more production. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously with Justin, but if Tyson is the guy this Sunday. What is that offense going to look like? Because he has a different skill set than Justin. And we haven't been able to devise a game plan for Justin consistently. What are we going to do for Tyson?
And that Eagles-Jets game has gone final. The Jets beat the Eagles 20-14 behind Zach Wilson.
Yes.
So the final team that was undefeated in the NFL, the Eagles, have fallen. They're now 5-1. So there is a multitude of teams now who are 5-1. The Dolphins are 5-1 on the year. The Chiefs are 5-1. The Eagles are 5-1. And the Lions and 49ers are 5-1. So no more undefeated teams around the NFL. Let's go on out to Bear fan Bob. Wants to see a little bit more of Tyson Bagent. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, gentlemen, I just got off the train a few minutes ago coming back from the game, and I have double nosebleed seats, as you all know, and I sat there and I watched this today. And let me tell you, I am not a big fan of quarterback aerobics out there behind center, to include Justin Fields. None of these quarterbacks. I counted 10 bad snaps in a row with Bagent. What is this? These guys out here forget to snap a football. Is that Whitehair or Patrick or both of them? I don't know. Horrible. How do you expect a quarterback to do well when he can't even get the ball where it's supposed to be on time? Absolutely horrible. And with Tyson Bagent, I saw a complete different offense. People kind of had an idea. It looked like a professional offense. This kid got the ball, boom, it was gone in a second, maybe 2 seconds. Fields again was a deer in the headlights and clueless out there today. As far as I'm concerned, okay, we saw one good game with the Redskins. Yay. That's what we get now after 3 years of being a professional quarterback. Yay. Bench him. He's a number 2. Get this kid in here and let's see what he can do for a change. Guys, those are my thoughts. Have a great show, and thank you much for your airtime.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate the passion, man, even if we don't always agree with the sentiment. Look, gonna get a chance, I think. Like I said, I'd be surprised.
I give him credit for going to the game, continuing to support. I mean, I give him credit for continuing to go to the game, nosebleed seats, continuing to support your team. So,
yeah, hey.
Listen, I mean, he's gonna. This is the one thing, and this was the part that we feared. At some point during the season, injury was going to be the reason that he got his shot.
Yeah.
I would rather we know, because you never want to see somebody get hurt. I would rather, okay, Justin Fields isn't a good quarterback. We're probably firing this entire coaching staff. They're going out on a last-ditch effort. Put in Tyson Bagent. Let's see what the young kid can do. Maybe we can save ourselves with this. But he's going to get his shot. He's going to get a chance to go out there and play more than likely, right? Like we don't want to confirm anything or deny anything yet, but if you can't grip the football, you're in trouble. Yeah, and it's like, it's not even that. It's Justin Fields didn't go back out there. I know the player that Justin Fields is. Justin Fields has played through broken ribs. Justin Fields is not a guy that's going to sit there and go, my hand hurt, I'm done playing today. Justin Fields finished the Browns game his rookie year. Right, like we know who Justin Fields is. For them to say he can't go back out there, somebody probably had to physically restrain him from going. And I'll bet you that's exactly what was going on in the back, because he didn't come back out there at all, did he? Or did he come back out in the fourth quarter a little bit?
No, he didn't come back. He didn't come back in, and even when I went into the locker room, he wasn't even in the locker room.
Yeah.
So it's and I agree with you. He's a tough guy. He took a lot of shots today. He took a lot of shots. I mean, the first play of the game. The first play of the game, he took a big shot. So it's a situation where we've talked about this before, right? The backup quarterback is essentially the starter in the NFL. I mean, that's just the reality. So, now if he doesn't come back, we get an opportunity to see Tyson, in a more game environment. And that's, I think moving forward, that's what you might have to see. I don't know how long Justin may be out. I don't know. They're going to do the MRI tomorrow. But like we talked about it before, with the new quarterback, can you devise a game plan that's going to make him successful? Because we haven't seen a consistent one with Justin since he's been here.
All right, let's go down the scary rabbit hole of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many games does Tyson Bagent have to go out there and win? Because it's not like Justin Fields is doing a ton of winning here. How many games Tyson Bagent have to go out there and win before we start to have the question, do we put Justin back in when he's healthy?
So, my question would be, when you say win, is it winning because he's had an elite game?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Or is it winning because we had a good running game, the defense played lights out, we got short fields offensively? Or is it Tyson, like his play clearly defined him, being the catalyst for his winning game?
Listen, let's say Tyson's playing okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
215 yards, touchdown, interception.
Okay will mean nothing. If you want to see like an actual, conversation about Tyson Bagent, they can win
you
one.
Need Purdy numbers.
Like, you need him to go out there and look like a guy who all of a sudden has a handle on an NFL offense and is playing like the point guard role to a T, where he's just zipping it and getting DJ Moore the ball. All of a sudden, Darnell Mooney becomes a bigger part of the offense. You see Cole Kmet, continue to get a lot of targets. It's got to be Bagent kind of like kicking the door down. And even then, you'll only get the Bears maybe slow playing Fields coming back from injury. Maybe they give Bagent an extra start or two in that scenario. Like he would have to play out of his mind. Like, we're talking 300 plus yards, touchdowns, and very few interceptions. If we're going down that route where Justin's not coming back, and you're actually, because I'm sorry, even when Josh McCown was just like tearing it up, Jay Cutler still got the gig back, right? You're gonna have to see a McCown-like run for Bagent before we even start to entertain the notion of Justin Fields.
I'm not. And listen, I would rather have Justin. I've clearly said I don't care who's successful at quarterback. Like, be successful, win some football games. I love all of it. But I would rather have Justin Fields because of where we drafted him, how highly touted he's been. Like, I feel like that's a failed project on the Bears' part. But it's not like Justin's been consistently putting up 280 yards. We have 2 games. It's not like Justin has been consistently winning games 386 days since our last home win, right? So my only question, I guess, is with this staff, and it's not to say this is the long term, but with this staff, is the leash for Justin so long that Bagent winning 2 games doesn't change that?
I'll tell you what. No,
this is just me playing devil's advocate.
I don't think so, because of the games you had against the Broncos and the Commanders. That Broncos first half was and again, I understand the Broncos are atrocious defensively, but nevertheless, it's still an NFL defense, right? Mm-hmm. And then to on the heels of that, do what he did against the Commanders, that to me bought him more than enough leash to get back out there when he's healthy. And I don't know if there's anything Tyson Bagent could do because of the 2 performances he just had a couple weeks ago, for me to say Bagent would get another crack at it before Fields, at least for me. Let's try Steven quickly in Kansas City before we take a quick timeout. Steven, what's going on, man? You're on the post-game show with Meller, McKee, and Pat the Designer.
I agree with Pat about the Eberflus BS coach talk on the center snap.
Sure.
Just be honest and have some sort of an accountability, okay? I'm tired of him making up some coach speak about executions and all that kind of stuff, pointing a finger at the players, and then he won't even hold accountable for a veteran who seemed to be, clearly on his downward spiral. And then the fans aren't stupid either. People calling in and having watched the game today in person as well as on TV like I did. Yeah. We know it was terrible. And it's about time, Eberflus and Getsy has to be held accountable to a higher degree now to be able to have 11 days and then see this BS game where offense couldn't adjust to a blitzing Vikings defense, which we knew all along that this was going to be the case from the very start of the ball game. It was just an atrocious, and it was a coaching crime. And then at this point, I just don't know, maybe 2023 season pretty much is over with the, depending on Justin's injury. So I can't deal with it.
All right, Steven, we feel the pain, man. I'm telling you. We agree, man. It's a rough spot, man.
It's one of those things where, right, like, I it's a different world. The coach speak sounds good if I can't go to my phone after the game and look up the all-22. And then for me, right, like, I get the privilege of being like, hey, J-Mac, what the heck is this guy doing right here, right? Like so we get the opportunity to go to NFL players and different things that to validate the things that we're seeing. And the toughest part of all of it is when we go, well, the thing that I saw is exactly what this former NFL player said, and that's exactly what all these fans are saying. Why aren't our coaches seeing this? You know what I mean? And that's the part that's the part that irritates Bears fans is just the coach speak, where you try to make it seem like, well, they're not going to know what the heck is really going on with the center position, because what do they know about playing center? We know the snap's not supposed to go over his head 7 times. Another one.
Just another bad snap while we were talking here, breaking it down.
It gets to a point to where it's the accountability to where, you're going to have to call some guys out to make them perform.
Oh, my God.
And some of the guys, like...
In the locker room or in public?
I mean, I'm in the locker room. Okay. Just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, it's a situation with the snap, so we made a change. Like, you don't have to say his name, but the situation was obvious.
Not good enough. And listen, and again, to your point,
it was unacceptable.
These guys are professionals. Not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, and we're already working, we know there's, maybe a talent deficiency more times than not when you're going up against your opponent. We're still working on that as an organization to get that better. So that means that we need our scheme to do more. And when bad snaps are taking us out of rhythm, we can't have that. We're working. We need to work better as a whole, as a unit, and that's something that is just can't keep happening if we're going to get this on track here moving forward. And we're actually going to evaluate Justin Fields as well. 312-332-3776. Hanging out with you for about 10 more minutes here on ESPN 1000, breaking down the Bears' loss to the Vikings before we give you some postseason baseball as well. Rangers and Astros tonight, game 1 of the ALCS up after us. So taking your calls for about 10 more minutes here on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Coach Matt Eberflus joins ESPN Chicago in the Waddle and Sylvie Show tomorrow at 2:10. Hear the coach, only on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Tired of struggling with sinus issues, nasal allergies, or snoring? Visit Sinus and Snoring MD. Their expert ENT specialist can help. With extensive training in diagnosing and treating conditions related to sinuses, your nose, and snoring, Sinus and Snoring MD provides you with comprehensive care. They'll determine the root cause of your symptoms and offer personalized treatment. Improve your quality of life. Schedule your appointment today with the professionals committed to helping you breathe and sleep better. Go to sinusandsnoringmd.com and tell them Cap from ESPN 1000 sent you.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Play video games, work from home, and do so much more with Astound Broadband's ultra-fast gig internet. For a limited time, you can join starting as low as $25 per month. Astound's fiber-rich internet delivers ultra-fast speed, no matter what high-bandwidth activities you choose. Create the perfect plan, plus get a 2-year price lock when you upgrade to the award-winning gig internet. Give yourself a better internet experience. Head to astound.com or call 1-800-4ASTOUND. Restrictions apply. See website for details.
The game is on the line. You need your best play. What's it gonna be? Do you make the call for welding or HVAC? Do it now and you could complete your education at ETI School of Skilled Trades in as little as 7 months. We offer day and evening classes to fit your schedule, and financial aid is available if you qualify. Visit eticampus.edu or call 888-830-7678 to learn more. ETI, It's your future. Own it.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Draft the ultimate lunch lineup starting at $7.99. Choose from a combination of half sandwiches, soups, salads, and more. Only at Twin Peaks.
Advantage Acura of Naperville, the #1 volume Acura dealer in Chicagoland. They have the largest inventory of new Acuras. Plus, they offer a 5% price match guarantee. Visit them today at Advantage Acura of Naperville or online at AdvantageAcura.com. Carmen and Jurko. The next Friday football feast is at Buffalo Wild Wings in Berwyn. It's Friday, October 27th, and it's brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller Lite, and Alta Equipment. Please feast responsibly.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Bears fall to 1-5 after a loss to the Vikings today at Soldier Field. They have not won at Soldier Field in over a year, 386 days to be specific. They'll get another crack at it against the Raiders next week, and you have to wonder if the Raiders will have their starting quarterback because Jimmy Garoppolo was taken to the hospital today after he left the Raiders win against the Patriots earlier this afternoon. We do not know if the Bears will have Justin Fields. Would not be surprised at all if Tyson Bagent gets his first NFL career start because Justin Fields had to leave the game with a thumb injury. The x-rays were negative, so that was good, but he will have an MRI tomorrow to further evaluate his injury. So that is where we're at with that. And, of course, we've been discussing the bad snaps all day long here.
Another one.
As DJ Khaled counts, not bad snaps, but now he's counting the number of cookies that Jason McKee has consumed throughout the postgame show.
Another one.
But that's okay. He's been sharing, so we will not call him the Cookie Monster just yet. He's a sharer in the studio. Let's try Jay, who's on the south side, to ahead of us wrapping it up here on the postgame show. What's going on, Jay?
Yeah. So the only thing I gotta talk about is that what was the 12 personnel that helped them so much against the Redskins? They knew they was blessed. Why didn't they come with more heavier sets with Jason McKee? Because with Blessigan, because he's a great fullback. And why didn't they move the pocket? I know Justin Fields missed DJ Moore on that one pass, but it seemed like Lou Jesse was trying to call too many 4 or 5 step drops when he know they was blitzing. So I don't think that helped the Bears at all. But thank y'all for taking my call.
No problem, Jay. Thanks for making it.
J-Mac, do you have a hoodie on or a helmet on out there?
Look here, man. You see all them cookies, that's why they didn't go to me. All them cookies. But to Jay's point,
they could have put you on the line, though. We needed you on the line.
But it makes sense. You wonder. We've been asking that question. Why? Why didn't they move the pocket? Why are you having sitting in a pocket against a team that brings a lot of pressure? A lot of things don't make sense. And if you felt like that was your best game plan to be effective offensively, I'm trying to figure out what you actually saw when you're going through film study and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you go empty, first of all, and you have 5
first
in protection.
Play.
Yeah, first play.
If you missed it when we started,
And what happens? Bam, you get a sack. But not only do you go at the first play, he went to it periodically throughout the game as well. So I can't answer that question. It's confusing to all
We'll
of
have
us.
to. I mean, here's the problem. We won't get any definitive answer. Luke Getz, he'll be a little coy, and he doesn't usually speak till Thursday anyway. Yeah. So that being the case, at that point, most of the time, it feels like on Thursday you're moving on to the next opponent more than anything else. So it's always I like hearing Luke Getsy speak because I do feel like he's insightful. The problem is it happens so late in the week that oftentimes I feel like
you're on to the next week
so
already.
hard. Yeah, it's on to the next one, right?
Listen, when you have to ask this many times what's going on, and we already know, right? They're going to have all the Tim Jennings and what's the other guy, former quarterback that breaks it down to QB
O'Sullivan,
school?
JT
O'Sullivan.
JT.
They're all gonna break down all this film and all that stuff, and the film's gonna be the same thing, right? It's gonna be, I don't really know what we're doing here. That's my favorite thing about JT. JT just goes through. He's like, I don't really know what we're doing here. I don't really know what's happening here.
Yeah.
He does not like Cole Kmet, by the way. Either he is not a Cole Kmet fan.
JT O'Sullivan's going to be like, is this another bad snap?
Another one.
What the hell are they doing? He's going to be like, yeah, JT, it was another bad snap.
When you have to continuously ask, what do we have here? I think you have your answer.
And if we can't, execute and correct things and put our players in a position to make plays and be successful, but the players got to do what they're supposed to do, we're going to have what?
Oh, caught me off guard there.
Another one.
Another loss.
Another
That's
loss.
what's going to happen. So, I mean, let's hope we can turn around. We got the Raiders coming in town. And
we got the Bagent-Hoyer game coming up here. The Bagent-Hoyer game?
Unless they go back to O'Connell. I mean, he was a statue in the pocket. But
we signed in Nathan Peterman, too.
Painful right now, Bears fans. I'm apologizing to you guys, and I didn't play. I feel your pain, guys.
Hopefully they can get right and they can snap this losing streak at home, move themselves to 2-5 next week. That's going to do it for us, folks. Want to say thanks to Kevin Zepak and Justin Pottinger as well for producing the show, the Post-Game Show. I'm Jeff Meller, Jason McKee, Pat the designer. You've got Game 1 of the ALCS up next. Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, right here on ESPN 1000.
What's up, everyone? It's Zetterman, snapping down.